This moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
Ball remains on the left hash. Landers the receiver that way. They're going to give it right side. Lots of open field into the end zone. Rocket Sanders, touchdown Arkansas. Sanders from 11 yards out. 2 scores for Rocket, and the Hogs go 75 yards.
Yeah, that's just the outside zone right there. South Carolina's been so worried about Arkansas running the football between the tackles. They go outside zone right there. They wash it down on the right side of the defensive line, and Rocket just rolls into the end zone for a touchdown.
3rd and 8 for the Gamecocks. Rattler in the gun, gets the snap, wants to throw, pressure coming, bumpers after him, gets the sack back at the 6-yard line. Rattler tried to reverse field. Poole tripped him up as he lunged for Rattler. 15 yards on the loss, and they'll bring on the punt team.
And that's a nice job by Bumper right there on that loop stunt. I mean, he came on the outside. Jashard Stewart did a nice job of just slanting on the inside, allowing Bumper Poole to get there.
South Carolina's only got 1 timeout. Looks like they're going to try an onside kick. Hogs have their hands team on. It is an onside kick. It's fielded. Hey, is that Bumper? Fields it at the 40, inside the 30, down to the 20, down to the 10. Bumper Poole picked it up on a hop, took off. He's inside the South Carolina 10. It's 1st and goal at the 9.
And the coaching point right there, Chuck, is fall down on the ball unless they kick it right to you in stride, and then you pick it up and take off running like Bumper just did. And
3rd and goal from the South Carolina 2. Arkansas 387 yards of total offense. They've rushed for 254, and this is a big play here. 3rd and goal. They keep it with KJ at the goal line. Touchdown, Arkansas. Who else would take it over but KJ Jefferson? It's a 2-score advantage again.
Well, we talked about the fact when you've got a quarterback that can run the football like KJ Jefferson, I mean, it really evens the numbers up in the box. Kind of slid into the back of the end zone. And
2nd and 4, Dubinion sets up. KJ fakes the option. Now he's going to throw back of the end zone. Got a man. Touchdown, Arkansas. Warren Thompson was wide open. They faked the option. KJ stepped up and fired it to the end zone. 23 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, and they had Warren Thompson on the inside of that set right there. They had everybody else run across the field, close the safeties down, and KJ rolled to the right. Warren Thompson just kind of slid into the back of the end zone, and KJ found it for a touchdown.
It's a line of scrimmage game in this league, and it depends on if you want to make it that or not. We do. We want to make it a line of scrimmage game, and it feels good, to be honest with you. I think everybody in the stadium felt good on the first 3 possessions.
Well, it was a lot of fun on Saturday at Reynolds Razorback Stadium, and on a Saturday where, I mean, who the heck knew what was going on in college football as far as some of the crazier final scores that we've seen in a long time, and a group of 5 lead all of a sudden turning into a top 10 killer. Week 2, sometimes those rankings might not necessarily mean what we say they mean. Later on in the year, a top 10 win, a little bit different than it is in week 2. But you see Notre Dame and A&M being defeated in their home stadiums by Sun Belt schools, and then the Sun Belt also being a reason why Nebraska is now looking for a new head coach. Meanwhile, you just kind of keep rolling along if you're the Arkansas Razorbacks. And there really aren't any secrets right now for this football team as you hear Sam Pittman describe Arkansas as a line of scrimmage team. They've made the first 2 games all about that line of scrimmage, and boy, it has been as dominant at that line of scrimmage as you can hope, and really on both sides of the ball. So it's great to be with you today on a Monday, one day after Arkansas is back in the top 10, number 10 in the AP rankings, and Bobby Petrino week awaits us. We've got lots to get to. The Cardinals remain hot. The Cowboys, who knows what's going to happen with that. NFL started yesterday, and it's a glorious day to be talking sports all across the great state of Arkansas. I'm Phil Elson, Drew Barrett, Matty T alongside. We'll have Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation at the next segment, and Connor O'Gara, hour number 3. Lots to kick around. Sam Pittman will be speaking in about an hour for his usual Monday press conference. And looking back on Saturday's win over South Carolina and previewing Arkansas and Missouri State on Saturday in a homecoming game. So, I mean, what do you when you show up at Razorback Stadium or you turn on the television on a Saturday, what is it that you think you're going to see from Arkansas? Let's talk offensively first. For a team that ran twice for every one pass last year and returns very many of the same personnel that did that last season, well, I guess you kind of expect the exact same thing, and it's kind of exactly what's happening, and there aren't any secrets right now. South Carolina and Cincinnati both had to come into Razorback Stadium knowing full well that their front seven, and might have to turn it into a front eight, would have their hands full with a physical offensive line, with a quarterback that has the size of a defensive end and certainly the speed of one that can get to a quarterback if he was going to play defense, a great stable of running backs, and certainly one that's taking a giant step forward in Rocket Sanders from one year to the next. And gosh, he looked pretty good as a freshman. Right now, he looks like one of the best running backs in the SEC, maybe one of the better running backs in the country. I mean, he's ranked 4th in the nation in rushing yards at the moment, and it's really amazing to see the step forward that he has taken. And neither Cincinnati nor South Carolina could stop Arkansas from just grinding and pounding right through a number of holes, right between the tackles more often than not. Rocket bursting for 160. KJ got loose for almost 80 yards. When you remove the couple of sacks, or the one sack, it was 67 yards for KJ, and the two of them were a wrecking crew. Arkansas rolls up over 315 yards of rushing against South Carolina, and the Gamecocks knew that it was coming at them. They knew from the very start, and there was nothing they could do to stop them. And right now, Arkansas is imposing their will against these last two teams. And Cincinnati appears to be a good football team. We'll learn a lot about South Carolina as we go throughout this season. Cincinnati might be a little bit better, but Carolina, has got the SEC patch on their shoulder, and so for some people, if you beat a team that's out of the American Conference, and you might, kind of bat your eyes out a little bit, maybe you look at a win over South Carolina as something that's a bit of a step forward. And right now, I mean, could anybody have expected that you would see them do exactly what has happened the past 2 weeks? The answer is yes, no doubt about it. I think most people would have thought you're going to run it 2 times out of every 3. Maybe you wouldn't have thought that Rocket Sanders would burst for over 100 each of the first 2 weeks. That maybe Dominique Johnson would be healthy. And now with Neek not dressing for the first 2 games, you do have your RB1 chosen right now for maybe the remainder of the season. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens as for the rest of the year as far as Dominique Johnson's concerned, as to whether or not he feels ready to get out on that field, because Sam Pittman had mentioned it's up to him. It's up to him. You got to be ready to take that hit to get tackled, and maybe that's not how he's feeling. So you still have to feel really good about your running game, your defense. Gosh, it's a group of playmakers. I mean, last week I wasn't ready to describe them as a bend but don't break kind of a defense. But what they are is a defense that's got playmakers on every level, too. The defensive line is the strength of this team right now. And I'm going to count Drew Sanders not as a defensive lineman, but certainly he's coming up and lining up at that line of scrimmage every once in a while. But, man, what a get in the transfer portal for Arkansas with Drew Sanders. He and Bumper Poole are quite the combination of linebackers together. And now you're starting to get some of the freshmen into that position, too. Chris Paul gets in on 10 tackles. We saw Jordan Crook get out there for a number of snaps in the second half. Linebacker play right now is a strength for Arkansas, and it's not just a matter of the top 2, although Poole and Sanders combining for 36 tackles. 18 of them were unassisted. Just incredible to see the two of them teaming up the way they are. But Sanders is just another animal. And it's fun to have one guy on either side of the ball that's got the exact same name, who are as dynamic as the other one on the other side of the ball. We could say Sanders does this, Sanders does that, and we got to scratch our head and say, well, which one are you talking about? The guy who right now is averaging over 5 yards a carry. in Rocket Sanders, or is it the guy in Drew Sanders that is blowing up quarterbacks in the backfield and pressuring him when he doesn't get to him either? Well, you got playmakers on both sides there with the same last name, and your secondary. Look, I mean, sure, you give up almost 400 passing yards, but that's what's going to happen when you're ahead as far as Arkansas was in that fourth quarter, and you're going to have a quarterback in Rattler that's just going to step back and try to sling it around. You're going to give up some yards. But you also came up with some plays in that secondary. Latavius Brini is a playmaker. Dwight McLaughlin is a real playmaker. That's 2 interceptions in 2 weeks. And without Jalen Catalon and Miles Slusher in the game on Saturday, the guys behind them stepped up and played well. You're going to need in case of Catalon for the remainder of the season. We found out late after the game that he is done for the rest of the year. But Slusher should be back. Slusher should be back this next week. And so, you'll have another one of those playmakers in there. Either way, though, I mean, Arkansas right now looks really, really good. And compared to what else is happening around the SEC, just look at the SEC West right now. There might be some question marks about Alabama after a razor-thin win against what had looked like a mediocre Texas team that was on their second-string quarterback. Texas A&M, go ahead and tell me what you think about Texas A&M after taking a home loss to Appalachian State. And the offense right there is just broken with Jimbo Fisher. Ole Miss, not sure what to make about Ole Miss after the first 2 weeks. Have they figured out their quarterback situation? LSU, not sure what to make about them. Mississippi State, they've got a pretty good win on the road against Arizona. So right now, I mean, Arkansas is in a great position with homecoming against Missouri State Saturday, and then the Southwest Classic against right now a reeling Texas A&M team, and then Alabama week, which right now I know it's really difficult not to look ahead 3 games from right now and start planning for October the 1st, which I guess also has something to do with the guy who's on hold, which is Eddie. So we'll get to Eddie right now, and then we got to take the break because Mike Irwin is coming up, and we'll have a conversation with him after Eddie does his thing. Eduardo, you are a little bit early, man. Usually we've got you on in the second hour when you, I guess, you've kind of programmed yourself for calling during the 12 o'clock hour. But after a 2-0 start and a top 10 ranking, the alarm sounded a little bit earlier today. What's up, Eddie?
I'm feeling pretty good, sir. I tell you what, I called in early to blow the whistle. If we were stopped, we're buying all over it. Get aboard the Hog train. Number 10, as I woke up this morning, nationwide. Let me say this, if we're our top song in the Billboard charts, woo! We're moving up fast. And this is what I'm smelling, gentlemen. You just hit it. Just a couple of games, take care of business. And I think we're going to the ground and pound. By the way, a big game this weekend to welcome Bobby back in the hometown. And boy, I got my neck brace and whistle ready, and we're going to roll over the Bears. Woo! After watching Texas A&M and the Aggies, why wasn't I blow the whistle? Because I predicted before the season started, we'd start 4-0 and have a chance to play the biggest game to me since our program's history, since the big shootout. Possible. I'm talking top 5 matchup. Woo! In the hometown. Let me say this. Without a doubt, you just hit on it. We got the best quarterback, running back, duo in the country with Rocket Man and Mr. KJ Jefferson. Woo! After Saturday, I'm blowing a whistle. No doubt about it. We got the best linebacker duo in the entire country. And Mr. Drew and Mr. Bumper Paul.
Oh boy, I've lost track of the Ric Flair woos. I heard we got our first neck brace of the week. I'm sure there'll be a few more of those as we go throughout the next few days. But yeah, Eddie, be careful out there because it sounds like your hair is on fire, and you don't need to be around anybody else if you're a Burning Man quite like that. All right, quick break. Eddie's fired up. I'm sure you are too. Mike Irwin, I've never seen him fired up before, but we'll see what he thinks of this Razorback team after 2 wins. Next on Halftime.
y'all ready for this?
Hey, this is Chuck Barrett, and I want you to know how excited I am to be part of the team at ESPN Arkansas. It's a winning team, and I'm glad they've let me sign up. I've missed being on the air. I've missed talking to all of you, and I'm going to get a chance to do that again, and I'm very happy about that. I hope you'll make plans to join me. I'm going to be on 3 days a week with Ty and Tommy on the Morning Rush, and you can follow me on Halftime with Phil Elson, and I'll even make an appearance or two on Ruskin and Zach. So join me on ESPN Arkansas.
Gray Brothers Equipment understands the importance of your hay crop, and they're ready to help with quality Kubota products like Kubota rotary disc mowers, Kubota brand wheel hay rakes, and BV round balers attached to Kubota's M-Series cab tractor. Together, Kubota and Gray Brothers will make your hay days fun again. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Photo, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Ride without compromise. CF Moto's brand new U-Force 1000 XL with 2 3-person bench seats to haul more rear ends as you haul butt. Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma has the perfect CF Moto for any road you choose. Get some serious mud on the tires with aluminum rims, custom paint, power steering, and a 3,000-pound winch. No wonder the CF Moto is Auto Finders' best-kept dirty little secret. Ride without compromise at Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma in Roland. Visit a complete list of inventories online at autofindersok.com. Your search ends here.
Finding that missing shin guard. Remembering whether it's a home or away game. Getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things. Like not being that fan.
Oh, come on, ref.
That's simple human sense.
Visit the Charles Osborne Agency in Greenwood or call them at 996-2129.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Evans Body Shop in Van Buren is a proud local business serving the River Valley since 2006. Thanks to our customers, our business is growing. We invite you to stop by, call, or drop in and visit with us about our new paint system, work efficiencies, and certification training program for our entire team. Our commitment to you is to continue to embrace new technologies and operational enhancements that provide the very best experience for you, our customers. 412 Gordon Avenue, Van Buren.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Calling all fans of flavor, there's something new at your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Fridays Fajitas. Fajitas you love in bold new flavors like dynamite shrimp, tandoori chicken, and the spicier whiskey glazed blaze Tex-Mex. Right now, get free chips and queso with any Fajitas order. Dine in or order online for curbside pickup at Fridays.com. New Fridays Fajitas at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Ah, crackling Rosie, get on board. We gonna ride till there ain't no more to go. Taking it slow. And Lord, don't you know, I'll have me a time with a poor man's lady, hitching on a twilight train. Ain't nothing here that I care to take along.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
We appreciate some of Mike Irwin's time on a Monday morning here on Halftime. Of course, Mike covering all things Razorback for the Pig Trail Nation. Mike, pretty impressive performance on Saturday, I thought, especially that, I mean, there really aren't like secrets with this Arkansas offense. I mean, there might be fakes here and there, you know, cross them up with the way you call a play, but you just have the sense opponents should know the way Arkansas is going to attack them. But Cincinnati couldn't stop them on the ground. Carolina couldn't stop them on the ground. And, boy, it's just imposing your will. It's pretty impressive, don't you think?
Yeah, well, at least it was it was pretty much balanced last week. There was no balance here. I think what happened, they looked at the 200 yards that Georgia State rushed for against South Carolina. When if they can do that, what can we do? And we found out they went for almost 300 yards. And you're right, when you have over 60 offensive rushes in a game, when you run the ball over 60 times, the other team knows what you're doing. It generally makes it much harder, but for the most part, they just had their way. I think it's a sign. What we haven't seen yet, I think, is what this team can do through the air. They're going to have opponents that are going to just line up and say, we're going to stop your run. We're going to force you to throw because we think your run is your strength. And I think they're going to find out this team has another gear when they decide to pass because Jefferson is a better passer. His passing numbers are, you know, he hasn't thrown a lot, but he has no interceptions. He's had no turnovers. His QBR rating continues to be up into the low 80s, and so I think when he has to, he can cut loose. And I think they've got a lot of receivers, and I think somebody's fixing to find that out at some point when they line up to stop the run. They're going to find out this team can pass too.
KJ, Chuck brought this up in postgame on Saturday. He's such a smart decision maker, but I think sometimes we think about the decisions a quarterback makes as to, you know, where he's trying to throw the ball, what window he's trying to fit it into, how he goes through his progressions, and if it's not there to, you know, take it down and run with it. But there's another dimension in this when it comes to the RPO. And like KJ is a really smart decision maker at delaying, you know, when he's going to hand the ball off or keep it himself. We saw that quite often against South Carolina. I think like his decision making goes so much deeper than just how or when or who he throws the football to, because this RPO has been very effective. I mean, it was last year, 2 games into this season, it's effective too, and that's because of the quarterback's decision-making.
Yeah, he delays that, like you say, and then that puts more pressure on a defense. They're still not sure. He disguises it very well. Sometimes even the running back not sure what's going to happen there. He has really settled in. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country this year, not just the SEC. He seems to be getting, and he did this last year. He got more comfortable as he got farther into the season. So, you know, so far so good. We're 2 games into this thing, and when you looked at it back in middle of the summer, even August, you're thinking, man, those first 2 weeks, you got to get through those first 2 weeks. Then maybe you have a little bit of a break. Then you're hit 2 really tough games, maybe 3 if you consider BYU. So they've kind of gone up 1 step. I think it'll be a breather this week, and then you got to go up 3 more big steps. So the screws are turning, and they got to be envying some of these teams that are playing nobody right now, just cruising along and, you know, playing mid-majors. Arkansas finally gets to play one this week.
Rocket as the lead running back. And it kind of went into Saturday, wondering if Dominique Johnson would dress, and then if he did, you know, how involved in the offense he would get. And Coach Pittman last week basically said it was a decision that was up to Neek. Like, he's healthy, he can play. It's all a matter of if he feels ready mentally, emotionally. You know, when these knee injuries aren't just about the knee, it's also about, you know, how you view your body at that very moment and whether you can use it at 100%. So I kind of wonder about, you know, Neek's availability moving forward, and if he doesn't play for a while. I mean, Rocket Sanders looks every bit the number 1 running back, you know, and I think there were times he did last year, but so did Neek. But when I watch Rocket run, he's patient, he's hitting the hole. He doesn't look like a guy who was a wide receiver that's still learning to play the position.
Well, I had one of my Ask Mike questions last week. The guy said he looked like, to me, he was avoiding contact in that Cincinnati game, and was that a problem? And I'm like, well, I didn't see that myself. And you certainly didn't see it this week. He didn't avoid contact in this game. He was bowling people over. He's just he's settled in. He's leading the SEC in rushing right now. And they've got other people. They don't have to play Dominic Johnson. They don't. I mean, the two guys they got behind Rocket are looking good when they come in the game. So, I mean, that's just a very talented room. I think they've got options there. I think they're in a good position where if you were to get an injury among any of those guys in that room, you've got other people available. It's just a wealth of depth in there that you always want. And sometimes that's the difference between a really good season and maybe a one where you look back and say, boy, if we didn't have that injury, man, look what we could have done.
Well, what do you make of Arkansas defensively in these first 2 weeks? I'm not looking at it this way, but we get texts and calls, and you can see it on boards and social media. There's been a yeah, but about the defense in each of the first two games. Yeah, but in Cincinnati, you had receivers running free in the secondary. Yeah, but against South Carolina, Spencer Rattler threw for 376 yards. The defense is making plays, though. I mean, on all three levels, too, including the secondary, which is really where I think fans are trying to complain a little bit about the defensive performance. But what do you make out of what you've seen on the other side of the football? We've talked offense these first few minutes.
Yeah, if you looked at this team overall and said, where is a weak spot, that would be the only place you could look. And then you would say, well, they lost those two guys. Well, one of those two guys is back. Going to be back, so I think that problem, some of that is mental, I think, with a lot of the fans. They go, we lost those guys. Oh, there's a problem here. 376 yards he threw for, but one touchdown, and his QBR rating was 54.6. He didn't exactly tear Arkansas up. They just kind of gained a lot of yards throwing it. I thought the issue this week, honestly, wasn't so much pass coverage, but tackling. When you go back and look, the guys in the secondary missed some tackles that caused some issues, but I think that's correctable. I also think that Brini is a guy, when you look at Catalon being gone, you just, once again, look at Sam Pittman in the portal and look what he did. He goes and gets a guy that had started like 9, 10, 11 games for the national champions last year. As Sam Pittman pointed out, you don't do that if you don't have ability. I think Brini's issue is he's learning this system. It's new for him. After the game, he gave a lot of credit to Catalon for helping him when he got here. And basically he said, at some point, he just said to me, you are the last guy back there. There are no excuses back there. It's you. You have to live up to that. And I think what we're going to see as we get further into this season, we're going to see that kid's talent come out. Because, again, Georgia does not start a guy that many games who doesn't have ability. Now, I think we're going to end up fans are going to be very lucky that he transferred in, because he plugs a hole that might have been very leaky if he wasn't there.
Now, Mike, since we've learned the severity of Catalon's injury, that it'll be out all season due to the surgery with the shoulder and everything, what does his future look like? I mean, I think he still has another year of eligibility left. Do we see him in a Razorback uniform again?
Jeez, I don't know. That's such a difficult. You'd have to. One thing Sam Pittman did say was they told him, go get away from the team, take a break, because he's so depressed right now. So we don't want you to be around here, because that's going to make you even more depressed. When you feel like you can deal with it, we'll bring you back in here and you can be around the team. But I don't have a clue what he would do. There's two lines of thinking on that. One of them is, hey, I don't want to risk another injury, because that might be it for me. Won't even get drafted. So there's that. But on the other hand, he might say, look, I still got to come back and prove myself to increase my draft potential. So I'm not sure what he would do. I wouldn't want to be in that position. I think it's a very, very difficult thing that he's going to have to decide once he heals from this injury.
It's definitely a tough decision for sure, and one that I think everyone wishes he didn't have to make right now. Wishing that he would have stayed a lot healthier this season. But Mike, staying with the defense, Drew Sanders had, I think, a really, really good game, breakout game for him. looking at the linebacker position with Drew and Bumper, and I know it's only 2 games in, but would you put them on par or maybe even pass the tandem of Bumper and Grant Morgan from last year?
Absolutely. I mean, they're off to a terrific start, and then you've got Pooh Paul back there, who's this guy I'm telling you is coming on. So what did they have last year? They had a 3-man rotation last year, and now it looks like they've got that again. So that's the most solid position on the defense. I mean, I don't know that Arkansas has ever had. We got to get into this season but with those 3 guys, this may be the best you've had, because Bumper Pool's all over the place. But my goodness, this kid from Alabama is just. I know Nick Saban has made a statement that if he didn't transfer, he would be starting for them now. And he's probably regretting that the kid got away, watching what he's doing. Again, Sam Pittman's trying to build this into an SEC championship type team, and you have to, if you're just doing it through recruiting of high school players, it slows down the process. But he's accelerated this thing by going and getting good players away from other SEC teams and making this team better because of it.
That means there'll be more on the way. If it works for Drew Sanders, if it works for Latavius Brini, if it works for Landon Jackson, all SEC players that transferred to Arkansas, if it worked for them, and again, it's 2 games in, we've got to throw that in there. But that means, they'll theoretically be more on the way, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, word gets around. These guys look at what happens, man, and you transfer there, you're going to, it's not going to be one of those dead-end deals where you transfer in and you sit. So, absolutely. And then I think the thing you have to really think about is Sam's, I don't know if it's just him, what he does with his assistant coaches involved in this process, but they just don't seem to be taking guys that somehow they end up not needing, which is happening at a lot of schools. We're seeing a lot of guys transfer, and then all of a sudden, we just kind of brought you in here as insurance, and we don't really need you, so, yeah, sit on the bench. That's why you transferred in the first place, and now you're going to be on our bench. We haven't seen that, from these guys that transfer in here, and that word gets around too. So, yeah, success breeds more success.
All right, Mike, last thing, and we'll let you go. When this game was scheduled, Arkansas, Missouri State, you're like, oh boy, it's a couple years away. Maybe Petrino will be the head coach there still. Maybe he won't. Well, he is. There's a game on the field on Saturday, Mike, but there's also, Bobby Petrino is coming back. This is kind of a story unto itself.
Oh, it is. There's a rumor going around, and I called over there today. The people at the athletic department claim not to know anything about it, but the rumor is that the students in mass are going to show up wearing neck braces, like that photo that Petrino had, where he's got the little neck brace around him. So I essentially called over there to find out, hey, if they do that, are you guys going to make them take it off? Are you going to let them go in there and wear that, or what? And I don't know what they would do. My guess is that if Pittman was aware of that, since he's not one of those kind of guys that, believes in that kind of stuff, maybe he would say, no, we don't want that. But on the other hand, it's kind of funny. So do I think that it would motivate Missouri State players because you're making fun of their coach? Not to the point where I think Arkansas loses. So you don't want to be a stick in the mud and say it's a bad idea. I don't know if it'll happen or not. I think it'd be kind of funny if it does happen.
Well, I would laugh, that's for sure. And I think a number of other people would too, including you, which we always appreciate you joining us, Mike, on these Mondays. Thanks so much.
Okay, see you.
You got it.
Appreciate it.
Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation. Throwing the rumor around there, and he did put on his old style press hat, dial up the athletic department to get a little information about it. I don't know if they would have, if they knew what was going to happen. I don't know if they'd say it anyway. Hey, I know what can happen if you go over to Joe's Grilling Cantina Saturday to watch Arkansas and Missouri State, or the week after against A&M or Alabama, whatever. Any Arkansas game of any kind when it's on TV and you're at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith, you get half-price apps and half-price taps during the game. TVs are all around the restaurant. You won't miss a play, and you get a front row seat. That's Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street in Fort Smith, across from Harps. They're open Tuesday through Saturday. joesfortsmith.com online, and you can also download the Waiter app to order. You got to react, 877-377-6963 on halftime.
This is Mitch at Red River Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep. And folks, this is my favorite time of year. It's Jeep Freedom Days. And you know, at Red River, one thing we believe in, that's freedom. Like right now, you've got the freedom to order your car online at redriverjeep.com. You can custom build it and get it however you want. And you have the freedom to take the in-person experience and come in and order your vehicle right here from a salesperson, or buy one right off our lot. So make that beautiful drive to Heber Springs or check us out online at redriverdodge.com.
The Just for Pros event is back at Lowe's, and we're celebrating hardworking pros with special savings on the top tools, plus bonus perks to help you with your business. Sign up for Lowe's Pro Loyalty now through January 28th, and you'll get up to $100 off your TurboTax federal tax preparation. Just another way Lowe's makes your job easier. Lowe's, the home for pros. Discount valid on select TurboTax services through 4/15/22. More terms apply. U.S. only.
The 10 is up, and the Big Fall Hunting and Fishing 4-day sale starts this Wednesday at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith. Check out the savings on fall hunting and fishing gear under the tent and throughout the store. Everything you need to make this fall one to remember. Get ready for fall at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith. Don't miss it this Wednesday through Saturday. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
It's time to call the Hogs with head coach Sam Pittman and Razorback football. Single game tickets are on sale now for one of the best home schedules in history. That includes marquee matchups with Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, and more. Witness the next great Razorback moment by securing your seat for the biggest games before they're gone at ArkansasRazorbacks.com or by calling 1-800-982-HOGS.
Flu season will be here before you know it, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has the regular and 65-plus senior flu shots ready now to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 and schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Studies have shown that people who can count to 5 without saying 1 or 3 can also enjoy the new 2-4-5 breakfast deal at Hardee's. Choose from a sausage and egg biscuit, country fried steak, or biscuit and gravy, now for less. That means more made-from-scratch biscuits for me. Bite into the new 2-for-5 breakfast deal only at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price of participation may vary.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Pitt, was it Monday or Tuesday, pretty much called out the O-line and D-line, said the game's on our backs. The game will be won in the trenches by us. And O-line took it really personally this week to make sure we can run the ball. Talked all week about spots because they're going to try to give us some exotic looks, run the safeties down, try to fit some runs a little weird. We were prepared for it. Everything we've seen, we were prepared for it.
295 rushing yards to 40 rushing yards. I think Dalton Wagner on the offensive line and the defensive line, too, accepted Coach Pittman's challenge and won the challenge. We're here on halftime. Our text line is not working today, so you can get in on a phone call at 877-377-6963 or just use the Twitter machine at Phil Elson. Drew, I forget your Twitter handle,
at
man.
DBarrett36.
And then Maddie is at MattTravis1. So what do we think about this idea of the neck braces in the student section? The students love dressing up, man. I mean, they put on the shark costumes for basketball games sometimes. They dress up. I can't see everything going on in the hog pen during baseball games, but I know they're doing something out there that's not being done everywhere else. The volleyball match that I called on Friday, there was a pretty rowdy student section. They had a taco. They had someone dressed as a dog. They had a banana. And one other piece of food. I can't remember what it was. So the students are always dressing up at one of these games. Not just, wearing your Razorback red and your striped overalls, if that's the way that you go. There's somebody's going to bring in a neck brace or 1,000 on Saturday at Razorback
whether
Stadium.
It's students or not. I mean, and I think it's more funny. I think it's harmless. I mean, it's been quite a long time. I mean, we're talking about a full decade in between. I'm sure Bobby's learned to laugh at himself for everything. It really just depends on, I don't think it's going too far necessarily. And you're just going to make people mad if you tell them not to. And if you tell them not to, it means they're going to want to.
And who's to say whether or not the neck braces are real for them or not?
Yeah. Are you going to tell me that I don't have a medical condition?
Well,
I think it's a violation to start asking people whether or not that it's actually required or not.
Hey, look, our text line just started working again. It looks like they've got it fixed up. So if you're wearing a neck brace at the game on Saturday, let us know by texting in 877-377-6963. Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? Somebody wants to walk in with a knee brace, with something on their ankle, and they start limping. I mean, I don't know if you could bring crutches inside the stadium. That might be looked at as something that could be a weapon. So I don't know if you could bring in a crutch. But a neck brace, I mean, I don't think anybody would view that as a weapon necessarily. But this is the kind of stuff that's going to happen, throughout the week. None of us are going to bring it in. We'll just, I guess, talk about it when it gets brought up. But if the rumors are out there, by now, I would tend to think the rumor would be true. These are the sort of rumors I'm perfectly okay reporting on. Last week, we had people texting in about Jalen Catalon's injury, this and that. Oh, it's a hand. Oh, it's an elbow. Oh, it's something else. That's not the kind of rumor that we're going to throw out into the radio ether.
Well, I'm seeing it on social media. I see the effort, people sharing the images, wanting everybody to participate in the student section. So there's a movement.
And there's the student section was really good on Saturday. They were good against Cincinnati, too. Coach Pittman even mentioned the student section in his postgame presser with how rowdy they got. So, I mean, he's going to love on the student section last week. I wouldn't imagine, Coach Pittman's not the kind of guy that, like a Lane Kiffin, that will get involved in the back and forth with another coach. I could see
he's not subtweeting anybody.
Well, I could actually see Lane Kiffin tweeting a photo of a neck brace the week that his team were to play Missouri State, just because that's Lane Kiffin. Yeah. So in that case, I mean, he might buy the neck braces for the students and make sure that there's one sitting on every single stadium chair at Vaught Hemingway Stadium. That's not Sam Pittman. But I also don't know if I see him as the guy that would be like, yeah, the students aren't going to do that. We're not going to let them do that. Because they're out there to have some fun. On a Saturday night, on homecoming, I think I have a feeling the students will be allowed to do what they want to do.
And even if they do come out and say, no, we're not going to do that, I'm sure there's a doctor or two that wouldn't mind writing some notes for students that they medically need the neck brace.
That would be hilarious.
I'm sure there's a few doctors up in Northwest Arkansas and throughout the state that wouldn't mind writing a few notes.
I bet they have a good cure for that too.
I didn't hear about any, problems getting into the stadium this past Saturday like we did the first weekend. But if there's one way you want to slow down entrance into the stadium, it's make all the students take off the neck brace before they walk in, or tell them they can't walk in with it. And then you'll get, a 75,000 person crowd. It's going to take them a little extra time to get in with about 4,000 students, screaming, neck brace, neck brace. This is going to be a great week. 877-377-6963. Stay tuned. Drew's got the reset next.
Get money and cash that check for me. All my people just bust your check for me. Everybody from every club, bang your head till you break your mother neck for me. Just let me give you real speech.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where it's finally time for our end of summer clearance. We've been busy all summer helping more people than ever get the nicer, newer cars they need, and now it's time to flip our inventory. That's right, they all must go. Over 100 Rath road-ready cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to save you money now with discounts up to $4,481 below retail. Plus, our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists are putting every deal together with extra for trades and fast, easy financing through the area's best local credit unions and the nation's best banks and lenders. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a premium pre-owned vehicle, now is the time, and Rath Auto Resources is the place. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. But why wait? Get the nicer, newer car you've been wanting today and save up to $4,481 during the end of summer clearance at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Summer is here. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has everything you need for your next picnic, trip to the lake, and outdoor fun this summer. Smoked ham and turkey are perfect for sandwiches at your picnic. Take Art's brisket, ribs, and pulled pork to your next lake trip. And every Saturday at Art's, every thick and juicy burger is $1 off. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, the best barbecue and burgers in town. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith, or call ahead at 452-2550 at Art's Barbecue and Burgers.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements, plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Randy Milam in Alma or Brad Howe in Van Buren about Shelter's home insurance.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Cooler temperatures are finally creeping in, and that means two of our favorite things at Breeden RV, football and fire pits. What better way to celebrate your team's big win than relaxing in your new travel trailer, fifth wheel, or motorhome? Whether you're a rookie or a seasoned vet, we have the RV in stock and available to fit all your wants and needs. Remember, every new RV comes with our exclusive maintenance for life for free. Visit us at BreedenRV.com or come by today on Alma Highway in Van Buren to see how cheap and easy it is to be a part of the Breeden RV family. Breeden RV, where adventures begin.
To be victorious this football season, you need Joe's winning team at the Crane Used Car Super Center. Because Joe knows how to win big. This month, Joe has game-changer deals like no payments for 90 days and vehicles under $20K. Every vehicle goes through a 127-point safety inspection and comes with a Crane commitment. Win big when you come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Super Center. Because Joe knows. U.S. Highway 71 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
We are expecting to find out game time of Arkansas versus Texas A&M sometime while we're on the air. We don't have it yet, but it'll be in the offing. Also in the offing, Drew with our first reset.
All right, here's your hour number one reset. Everything you need to know to make it through the rest of your day in the world of sports. If you've been living under a rock in the natural state, well, you might not know, but Arkansas did win their game on Saturday against South Carolina, 44-30. KJ Jefferson had a great day through the year, 18-21 for 162 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Raheem Rocket Sanders had another 100-plus yard game, 24 carries, 156 yards on the ground, along with 2 touchdowns. Matt Landers led the team in receiving, 45 yards and 4 receptions. Warren Thompson, though, had the 1 receiving touchdown, as he had 3 receptions for 36 yards. Another big thing that we've been keeping up with, before we get to that, I almost skipped over this part. Drew Sanders has won co-defensive player of the week this week in the SEC, and Ricky Stromberg won SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week as well. One story we've been following along for most of this summer has been Albert Pujols. He added another number. He's up to 697, has passed Alex Rodriguez for 4th all-time. Here's how it sounded on KMOX.
And now it's Albert Pujols with a chance to tie this game, or maybe even better than that, give the Cardinals the lead.
DeYoung deals. Pujols swings and lifts a high fly ball. That's it deep. Center field. It might go. It's a gunner. It's a gunner for Pujols. He gives the Cardinals the lead in the 9th inning with home run 6, 9, 7, all alone in 4th place in Major League Baseball history.
Albert rises to the occasion again. Straightaway center field here in Pittsburgh. A blast over the center field wall, 697, and the Cardinals have the lead 3-2 here in the 9th inning.
Only 3 away from getting to that 700 mark. Cardinals are off today, back in action tomorrow at home against the Milwaukee Brewers. Elsewhere in college football, it was a crazy weekend, and it was all capped off yesterday at about 1:30 when the notifications came out. Scott Frost has become the first college coach fired this season after losing home to Georgia Southern 45-42 in a game that the Cornhuskers were 3-touchdown favorites according to Vegas. Frost will receive his full $15 million buyout to not coach the Huskers. Now, if they would have waited till October 1st, it would have been cut in half to about $7.5 million. Mickey Joseph will be the interim head coach for Nebraska this season. With his promotion, he becomes the first black head coach in Nebraska history, and that's not just in football. He's the first black head coach in any sport for our Cornhuskers program. Other big upsets from the college football weekend included App State beating number 6 Texas A&M 17-14. Washington State took down the Badgers, who were ranked 19th in the AP poll. The Marshall Thundering Herd beat number 8 Notre Dame, and Texas Tech got a wild victory over number 25 Houston in overtime, and even decided to do a little storming.
Smith, it's all his. Touchdown. Texas Tech is your winner. Goalpost is coming down, folks. And there she goes. College football is back. The fans are back.
And I feel the great thing about when you get some of these group of 5 upsets over powerhouse or, really big Power 5 teams is not only did they win, but they got paid to win. Appalachian State got $1.5 million from Texas A&M to come beat them in College Station. Georgia Southern, they made a $1.423 million, and the Thundering Herd made a nice, cool $1.25 million to beat Notre Dame. And that's your Hour 1 reset.
I have to scratch my head a little bit about Texas Tech storming the field after beating
It just doesn't
Houston.
sound right?
Like, I understand they were on a second-string quarterback. I don't know a lot of the other circumstances around that game, but storm the field and take down the goalpost for beating the number 25 team in the nation that's in a lower-level league than you're in. Like, I understand Tech and Houston have a history, and they're going to be league opponents at some point, and I don't even, that was one of the games we had our picks with. I forget who the favorite was. I think Houston was the favorite.
No, Texas Tech.
Yeah,
was
so
the favorite.
Texas Tech is the favorite. That's right. What are you storming the field for? What are you taking down the goalposts for beating Houston?
They were really excited about it. I guess it's been
good for them. Good for them. That's interesting. It could be like a reverse storm the field if you're like App State.
It was weird
or
reading
Marshall. It's reversed. That's a big, big, big win. And not to like poo-poo a win for Texas Tech over a ranked team, but that just doesn't compute very much. Not at all.
It takes a minute to really wrap your head around, doesn't it?
Would Arkansas storm the field against Cincinnati? Give me a break.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get into the second hour in just a moment. Calls and the text line is alive, 877-377-6963. Back with more halftime next.
Metal Mart offers high-quality, prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shops, carports, and more. They strive to be the company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials you need to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. With locations in Fort Smith, Mayflower, Jonesboro, and Little Rock. Or catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
We want to welcome you to Rose One Stop Bait and Tackle at 612 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. We are your one-stop store for all your needs. We carry Petty Jean meat products, the official ham and bacon of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Give us a call and pre-order your party or tailgate party meat and vegetable trays to pick up on your way to the game. Call us at 479-452-2444 and we will have it ready. Rose One Stop, the best little one-stop in the River Valley.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high this afternoon climbing into the upper 70s to lower 80s. We're nice and clear tonight. And overnight low drops down in the mid to upper 50s. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, 85 to 89. And then Wednesday, we should see plenty of sun. Our high temperatures Wednesday in the mid to upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Tally at the 40, midfield, at the UCF 40, the 30, Tally at the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown Arkansas!
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
It's fast. It's exciting.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
And into our second hour here on Halftime. Great to be with you on this fabulous Monday across Arkansas. 877-377-6963 are your text and call numbers. Sam Pittman should be getting started in his Monday press conference right about now. Lots of good things to talk about, I'm sure, for Coach Pittman. Maybe a question about a Trey Knox injury. Looked like an ankle that took him out for a good chunk of Saturday's win against South Carolina, and for having a big game to the point where he got the John Mackey Award tight end of the week. And for the first week, Trey wasn't out there all that much, only one catch, but not like Arkansas necessarily needed it. So I'm sure there'll be questions about Trey Knox. We do expect Miles Slusher to be back in the lineup. Nickelback for Arkansas against Missouri State. And we know Jalen Catalon will be out for the remainder of the year, and we found that out after Saturday's game. Other coaches should be getting up to the podium, too, to start talking. I can't wait to listen to Jimbo Fisher's press conference at some point and speed it up like usual to maybe Micro Machines level so we can hear him talk very slickly about struggles of the offense and losing a home game that you should never lose and moving forward, how they're going to find a way to fix things. And how did A&M stay ranked? They're still ranked in both of the polls. Coaches moved them to 22nd. AP's got them at number 24. And they just don't belong on there right now. I mean, they didn't belong at number 6. They didn't belong at number 8. Right now, they don't belong at number 24 either. A slide of 18 spots in the AP poll. How far did Florida move up after their win against Utah? I mean, they were unranked and then get up to 11th.
They only received 14 votes or 14 points in the preseason poll. So you went from 14 points to, I'm guessing, somewhere around 700, which is normally what it is, about that range. So that's a pretty big jump.
Well, Alabama fell out of the AP top-ranked spot after a road win against Texas. And I'm only saying that with incredulity because, I mean, it's a road win against Texas, but it just wasn't by enough. I mean, you could look at a number of things that said maybe Alabama should have lost that game. They got a couple of calls that went their way. The play of the game was Bryce Young avoiding the sack that puts them into field goal position. That was one of the most amazing avoidances of a sack that I'd ever seen without even really moving his feet. All he did was duck underneath the guy, and it looked like his knee was an inch from the field. And finds a way to turn it into a big gainer, and that was the one that got Alabama, from it would have pushed them out of field goal range, would have been fourth down, would have been at the end of it pretty much, and finds a way to do it. But Alabama's second, Georgia's first, and it just doesn't matter here week 2 because the college football poll, the playoff poll, is not out, and that's the only one that matters. But it is good to see Arkansas at 10th, 2 weeks into the season. They were in the top 10 after 4 weeks last year, and then the humbling loss at Georgia, certainly And then, that started what was the October swoon last year, 3 losses in a row, and you're out of the top 25. You got back in eventually in November. But you look what's ahead for Arkansas. You get Missouri State Saturday. I think it'll be an entertaining game. Bears probably put up some points. Just, Petrino's really a great game caller, and it's a top-notch FCS offense. But Arkansas is going to win the game, and probably to the point where, depending on what happens ahead of them in the top 25, they might move up, to 9th or 8th. And then A&M. A&M, a team that Arkansas physically dominated last year. Felt like 20-10. Should have been more like, 28-10 or 34-10 or something like that. A&M's got a lot of problems, and really at the top of the list is quarterback, which is supposed to be the position that Jimbo Fisher knows better than almost any of the others, but that hasn't been the case. Haynes King, doesn't look like he's the savior that they were hoping for. And then Alabama. Things are looking incredibly good right now for the Arkansas-Alabama game to be the game of the weekend on October the 1st. And I'm not going to go all Eddie about it here that Arkansas is going to beat them and here's how they're going to do it and everything, because there's 2 weeks left until that game. And who knows what happens in those next 2 weeks. Injuries, always throw a monkey wrench into things. Just look at what happened in the NFL yesterday. Dak Prescott's out for 6 to 8 weeks. T.J. Watt might be out for the remainder of the year. Najee Harris had the ankle injury. There's always going to be injuries. So, we'll have to tamp down things. But if all things being equal for the next 2 weeks, Arkansas-Alabama probably is the best game of Week 5 in college football. And you know what that might mean?
2:30 CBS?
Game day?
Game day, that is true. That's true.
It could mean both of those things. And just we get ahead of ourselves a little bit, but it's impossible not to just dream about it a little bit. It was fun to have SEC Nation there first week, but that's just the SEC Network. They do great work, get lots of eyes, but it's not game day. Game day going to Boone, North Carolina this next weekend.
Hey, follow the story, man. That's what they're supposed to do, aren't they?
The story in college football this last week was the Sun Belt.
Yeah.
Right? The Fun Belt. And it's not the same Sun Belt that I knew when I was doing UALR women's basketball. It's a whole different league now. Marshall, App State, Georgia Southern, Georgia State. The list goes on as to how they've remade that team, and UALR's not even in that league anymore. They're in the OVC because they don't have a football team. But, that is the story of college football this last week. Marshall wins at Notre Dame. App State wins at A&M. And Georgia Southern beats Nebraska, and Scott Frost is fired 3 weeks before we thought it would happen. Like, you kind of knew he was gone once the buyout went down to 7.5. But Trev Alberts just spent $7.5 million to make a point, to make a point to his fans and to whomever is next up. Maybe it's Matt Campbell. I'm going to be entertained, when Sam Pittman's name gets thrown around about Nebraska, because while he would be like the right coach for a program like that, he ain't leaving Arkansas, not now or ever. Neither is Charlie. I think Charlie's sticking around in Arkansas, and he's giving us a call. So let's go to Charlie. 877-377-6963. Charlie, what's up?
What's up? I may leave Arkansas someday, but I will never, ever leave Arkansas, if you know what I mean. It's like Drew here. He's always with Memphis, even if he's over here just a little bit west in the red state. He's going to always root for those Memphis Tigers. So whatever happens in my life, I ain't never going nowhere. As far as the Hogs go, I will say this, Phil makes some good points. I wanted to, I was looking at the A&M game and the stats, and I was like, the crazy thing about that game is Appalachian State, they won that game just on situational football. They controlled the time of possession, 41 minutes to 19 for A&M. All the things coaches are supposed to care about, physicality. It's like Jimbo doesn't care. I don't know what – we thought that offensive line was going to be better. Everybody said that. They looked terrible to me. I thought Appalachian State, for the most part, they couldn't convert a third down. They were the better team out there. And you know what? I'm going to say this. Texas outplayed Alabama Saturday. I watched a lot of that game, and not only did they miss a couple calls, but they missed 4. I saw 4 big ones, and I just don't understand it. And I don't like Texas. I never will. But, I mean, good God almighty, guys. I mean, just some of those calls that Alabama were getting, it makes no sense. And I'm worried about that when we play them.
Well, haven't you felt that way about Arkansas playing Alabama before?
Yeah.
There have been a number of games where you felt like, wait a minute, how'd they get that call? And how'd they get that call? And how'd they get that call?
Last year, for example, and I'm worried about it when we play them again this year. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand how they continue to get away with just, and it's not Alabama's fault. I'm just saying the people that are calling these games, I'm like, how do they continue to get away with just, these ludicrous, and they're not evaluated? I don't understand it. I will say this about the game. Phil, you've talked about this vertical passing game. Look, I'm not worried about it because until a team decides they want to come down into the box and stop us from averaging 5 yards a carry, I'm going to keep doing that. And I don't care. We had a chance to hit a long ball the other day. Landers just dropped it. This vertical passing game will come when a team decides not to play 10 yards off our wide receivers, and they come down, and they can stop us from running the ball. Because I'm going to tell you guys what, I ain't going to stop running the ball if I can run it for 5 yards a pop. I mean, that's just the way it works. I mean, that's just common sense. That's our strength. Hey, if a team wants to come down there and stop it, we're going to beat them over the top because we had them on the play with Landers down the sideline. He just dropped the ball. But anyways, guys, I appreciate it. And also, Drew, I think you should put your hand in for long snapping, bro, because the Bengals are in trouble right now until they get one. You think you could go do that for them?
100%.
Long snapper.
Oh, it's the easiest thing in sports, isn't it?
Well, my future brother-in-law is a long snapper. I'll get some pointers from him.
All right, guys, I appreciate it.
Good to hear from you, Charlie. Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, I watched that game. I watched all as much as I could from the second quarter on, and you'd think, well, it's supposed to be the most basic thing is an extra point and snapping the ball back. Maybe some of us could get the football back to the holder, but not at NFL speed, and that's what that was all about.
No.
Tryouts for long snappers in Cincinnati, and boy, do they ever need one. We got Wade and Branch on halftime here. Hey, Wade, what's up?
Hey, Phil, Drew, and Maddie, how you guys doing?
Doing well.
I'm not going to jump up and down and get excited like Eddie from Clarksville, but I'm very excited about Arkansas. I got to take blood pressure medicine, but I'm really happy about the Hogs being in 10th spot. But anyway, comment I was going to make is in my own thought, I thought that Texas A&M and Florida were the most overrated teams going into Saturday, and I think it's proven right. And but it's just it's a great feeling, see Arkansas, getting some exposure like that. And another comment I'm going to make is, this is an exciting time of year. Baseball is winding down, and I'm looking forward to the National League postseason. You got the Dodgers. Dodgers are, probably the favorites, I'm sure. But, you got the Mets, the Braves, and, possibly the Cardinals. And I'm looking forward. I'd like to see Albert Pujols get his 700. And I'm not a Cardinal fan, but I'd like to see him get 700. That would be great. And what do you guys think?
Oh, he's going to get it. I don't
He's
see
gonna get
see
it,
there's any way that he
100%.
doesn't get it. Yeah. There's no way he won't because they play Pittsburgh more. They play Pittsburgh 6 more games. So we could go the next. How many games are left? Let's say there's another 15 games left before they play Pittsburgh. He could go 0 for 15 games. They play the Pirates. Yeah, he's Hank Aaron again. So it's okay. He'll hit 7. He'll probably get 705. He'll probably get 705 because he'll hit about 9 more against the Pirates. All of them go-ahead home runs. You're welcome, St. Louis. You're welcome. Good to hear from you, Wade. Thanks for the phone call.
Okay, you bet, buddy.
All right, you got it. That's Wade from Branch. Not a Cardinal fan, but he's just like me. I'm rooting for Albert Pujols, too, because I root for baseball when it comes right down to it. en route for you to make a call or a text here to halftime at 877-377-6963. Also, remember about Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair. If you want your vehicle dent repairs done by a professional that really is local, not a pop-up store that just shows up whenever there's a hailstorm or trees getting knocked down. I mean a local, customer-oriented business that is always around your area. That's Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair. That's Michael and his family and his team. They've been there in the community for over 30 years. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is a business you can trust. They'll take care of their customers every single day, every week, every month, every year, and they will stay right where they are. They're the best. Stay with a name you know and trust, Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair. You can check them out on Facebook. Halftime right back after a quick break.
My mom a heavy load. She tried so very hard to fill his shoes. Working hours without rest. Wanted me to have the best. She tried to raise me right, but I refused. And I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. No one could steer me right, but Mama tried. Mama tried. Mama tried to raise me better, but her pleading I denied. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried.
We have big news here at ESPN Arkansas on HitThatLine.com. Our Razorback coverage has expanded in our new weekday lineup. The Morning Rush has added Chuck Barrett as co-host of the program. Ty and Tommy wake you up at 6 a.m. and keep you laughing until 9 a.m. Halftime grows another hour, shifting to 11 to 2. Talk about a great break with Phil, Maddie, and Drew. And Ruskin and Zach are now from 2 to 7. Your number one source for the Hogs is ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com.
September is here, and at Frank World Furniture, we want you to get this month started off right. So not only do we have no sales tax, but we are marking down every piece of furniture, bedroom furniture, mattresses, and dining sets in the store to unbelievable prices. That's right, marking all furniture down, and no sales tax. In-store, no credit check financing, family-owned and service after the sale. All American-made sofas, love seats, sectionals, and recliners at Frank World Furniture. Best seats in the house.
If you farm, you have enough to worry about without worrying about how much more you're going to owe once your current variable or balloon interest rate increases. Interest rates are on the rise. This is the time to check out Farm Credit's long-term fixed rate options. Farm Credit offers the longest terms in the ag industry. Long-term fixed rates mean there's no surprises and your payments remain the same for the life of your loan. That's peace of mind in this changing interest rate climate. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. Set your operation up for success and rest easy. Equal housing lender.
Wave Rural Connect has opened their Lutherville zone, serving Hagerville, Knoxville, Lamar, and Ross areas with fiber internet starting at $49.95 a month. TV and phone service available too. Sign up now and the $100 install fee is being waived. Call 833-492-8372 or go online to signup.waveruralconnect.com and get the best customer service available and the fastest internet from Wave. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
When I'm governor, we will educate kids, not indoctrinate them with the left's agenda. We will empower parents, not bureaucrats. And we will prepare students for the workforce, not government dependency. I believe every kid growing up in this state should have access to a quality education, a good job, and a better life right here in Arkansas.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders will fight back against Biden and the radical left's agenda.
Inflation is a pay cut for every Arkansan, and Biden's policies are only making it worse. As governor, I'll begin phasing out the state income tax to give you a pay raise and unleash bold reforms to make Arkansas one of the best places to start and grow a business, creating thousands of new, high-paying jobs.
Fighting back against the radical left, empowering Arkansans. Sarah Huckabee Sanders for governor. Paid for by Sarah for Governor.
Studies have shown that people who can count to 5 without saying 1 or 3 can also enjoy the new 2-4-5 breakfast deal at Hardee's. Choose from a sausage and egg biscuit, country fried steak, or biscuit and gravy, now for less. That means more made-from-scratch biscuits for me. Bite into the new 2-for-5 breakfast deal only at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price of participation may vary.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Empty out some of the texts here that have been sent in here. Earlier in the show, Mike Irwin reported that he'd heard a rumor that the students will be wearing neck braces at Arkansas's game Saturday against Missouri State. And he contacted the athletic department to see if they would let him do this. There's no response. But here's one thing that fans might be able to do. You know, a neck brace essentially is just something white wrapped around your neck. We got a text in here from the 870 that says a white towel would work. So
are you allowed to bring towels?
I don't see anything that says you can't.
As long as it's in a clear bag, right?
Yeah. Or you just walk in with one in your hand, right?
That's true.
If it's in your hand and it's not like a weapon or a piece of metal, what are they going to tell you? No, you can't bring that towel in here, sir. Nobody is allowed to stay dry in this stadium. Sorry.
Well, it could be a weapon. I mean, I don't know about you, Phil, but I know some people that can really pop a towel pretty darn good.
Yeah.
You could take an eye out with them, one of those things.
I'm pretty talented with this. That's how I get the kids into the shower when they're trying to resist.
I just texted y'all this image that's going around Facebook.
Oh, boy.
And it's basically showing Amazon and Walmart bracing for a surge in sales of neck braces. And, of course, it's got his image there, right?
And they upped the...
that's
great.
We're going to have a shortage of neck braces. There's going to be spinal institutes that are locking them all down.
Yeah, there's going to be people that really need them.
That's true, yeah. Go with the towel, everybody. You don't need the real thing. We know what you're trying to do once you do it. Charlie needs to be told by JT that the SEC wants to protect Alabama. He says, I don't know why they get all these calls. Don't blame Alabama. Well, I guess not, but yeah. They are trying to protect, I guess you do try to protect your blue bloods. Georgia doesn't need the calls right now. Alabama actually did. Text out of the 501 thinks Arkansas wins on Saturday, but based off this past weekend, he thinks nothing to overlook either.
Missouri State is number 6 in the FCS poll.
Well, they're going to move the ball against them in the air, but there's too many playmakers on this defense, I think, for Missouri State to sustain something for an appreciable amount of time. Bart from Rogers... I'm not sure where I'm getting at here. He's just saying really nice things about us, and I appreciate that too, but there's no need to read that. Thank you for that text, Bart.
We read it personally.
And C-Man said, take off your gloves when you got a long snap, man. Yeah, no kidding. Well, what do I know about long snapping? I don't know.
Speaking of C-Man, the guy's texting Andy's on hold.
Yeah, he's on hold right now. Hey, C-Man, you're going both ways at us here, calls and texts. What's up?
Well, I had another point, by the way. I know we had the backed up long snapper, but that extra point on the final play of the game, that was on blocking. The guy let the inside guy go, and there was two guys, and he took the outside and let Fitzpatrick have like the easiest path to block it. There wasn't nothing bad about that snap.
I'm pretty sure I saw that ball hang just a tiny little bit. It didn't go back quite as fast as a regular long snapper would. I think that split-second difference. I think that split-second difference made a bigger difference than we're allowing it to be.
No, I mean, if the blocker don't let the inside guy go, he blocks out. You just let it, It'd been different. And then in overtime, that was on him. But I'm just going by, when you, take off the gloves because, they're like catchers. That slows up everything. So take off the gloves. So that's all I got. Love your show.
Thank you, C-Man.
Appreciate it, Z-Man.
It's good to hear from you. I hear the same thing about quarterbacks. Take off the gloves, and then, quarterback wears gloves, and it's just as accurate anyway. Ian Eagle made a great point, when Cincinnati's long snapper went out. He's like, look, these are operations that they only practice with one guy, and it's a process, right? It's back, hold, down, kick. It's got to be done just right, even the slightest little delay. And C-Man's point is valid that if the blocker gets in front of Fitzpatrick or just chips him a little bit, maybe Fitzpatrick doesn't get there, but the extra split second is the reason he got there. How often do you watch, a field goal unit or the extra point, and it looked like they were that close to blocking it? So often it's the speed of the ball going back to the holder that makes that difference. I saw that a couple of times at Razorback Stadium. JW's on hold here. Hey, J-Dub, what you got today?
You there, guys?
I had to turn you on, JW. Wink, wink. Now you're good.
Okay. Hey, Bumper Pool was amazing last Saturday, and I'm just curious, does Bobby Petrino use the damn onside kick? And, I look for Pool to have a breakout game one way or another. I just think it's going to be his time to take it to the house. I hope so. I'll hang up and listen to y'all. Love you. I listen to you too many times a day. What the heck?
you and me both, JW. I think that works both ways. The onside kick for the first attempt at the onside kick for South Carolina might have been the worst attempt ever at an actual kick. He kicked it right to Bumper. It was right there for him on one nice and easy bounce. The second one was a little bit better, but I think it was just because a Razorback player had a chance to field it and muffed it, and so Carolina recovered it. That was something to see, though. I thought Bumper was going to take it all the way. That would have been.
He did too.
Yeah, think about the game he just had. We will focus on his defense and everything. And he had a great game. 7 tackles. He got a sack. Had a pass breakup, quarterback hurry, and maybe what was that? 23, 28 yards. I'm here to tell
30.
I think it's going to be the longest kick return for a Razorback all year. How many kicks do you return in a season now where 50 out of 60 kickoffs go out of the end zone?
What do you average, 1.5 a game?
Yeah, there's been one return kick on a normal kickoff that wasn't an onside kick attempt, and AJ Green got 5 yards, and then there was a holding penalty, so it got backed up. That will be crazy to think about. Bumper Pool, it's the second week of the season, so who knows? Bumper Pool, a linebacker, will have the longest kickoff return for a Razorback all year long. Put it in the books. I think that's going to be a fact.
Heck, I'll go one step further, Phil. Longest return by any special teams player. And anytime you actually see a guy take a ball out of the end zone on a kickoff or field a punt and take off, your first instinct isn't go, go, go. You're like, whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing? Just catch the ball. Stop it right there.
34-yard kick return by Bumper Pool. Will there even be 34 total yards on kickoff returns all season? Congratulations, Bump. You're not just a great linebacker and a captain and a great student, but you're also one hell of a kickoff returner.
Phil, did you notice Drew corrected himself? He says, hell, heck. He goes, hell, heck.
Well, my mother could be listening, okay?
Is that because you're a reverend now? You're trying to clean up
to clean up my image in my salty language.
I guess JW's mom wasn't listening when he broke that word out there. You got your marrying duties coming up, in like a couple weeks, right?
2 weeks. Yeah.
Wow. That means you're gonna miss the 6 o'clock kick.
I will.
Arkansas, Texas A&M. It is official. Arkansas, Texas A&M. 6 o'clock on ESPN. The CBS game will be Florida and Tennessee. And Mizzou and Auburn will be the very interesting 11 o'clock kickoff in a couple of Saturdays. So there you go. That's something we can always count on Mondays, is that we'll be able to tell you when Arkansas plays in 2 weeks. Great news. Also great news, you got Monday Night Football tonight. Denver's a 6.5-point favorite. It is on ESPN and ABC. And Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on the call. You want to put some money on that game? Well, go to betus.com. They're in their 28th year of NFL action. Got a sign-up bonus of up to 200%. You can also put money on the NFL, Major League Baseball. Once the NBA returns and the NHL return, college football, of course. They've got European slots. Still not even sure what that means, but it must be cool because it's in our script. They got live dealers waiting for you at the tables. Go to betus.com or call 800-79-BET-US and get into the action. Where the game begins, BET-US. Stay with us. Halftime back, quick break.
Turning me loose from her memories, driving me lonely, crazy and blue. It helps me forget her, so the louder the better. Hey, mister, turn it on, turn it up, turn me loose.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
I want to give your station props for getting Chuck on with you. That's fantastic.
I got tired of Chuck begging to come on.
It cost him a fortune, Brent. Don't kid yourself. Once they got that truck backed up to the door, we could finally talk business. Beep.
Little brink strut.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Attention sports fans, your favorite sports book, BetUS.com, is back for their 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers their members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite leagues, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. They've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots, and their live dealers are waiting for you at the tables. You need a sportsbook with integrity and longevity, and you need to know that you're going to get paid. You need a sportsbook that offers everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, and all kinds of crazy bets. Call today at 1-800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US, and they will walk you through setting up an account. Nobody in the industry gives better bonuses than BetUS. Join now and mention ESPN Arkansas, and you can get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Nobody beats that. Head to BetUS.com and join today. That's BetUS, where the game begins.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Lesson 86. This is how you say, gee willikers, it's a hot one. Let's cool down with some Bud Lights. And that's it for today. Bud Light. Crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Find us on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Guys being dudes.
Wait a minute. This is a female rock and roll band, the Go-Go's. They're not guys being dudes. Where's this coming from?
Whoa, we're such dudes being guys. They were not even affected by it.
No.
Yeah. We're so doodly and guidely.
We're so. I don't know what's more manly than, sitting in your man cave, having some cold brewskis with your boys and blasting the Go-Go's.
Yeah, it's not like it's the Bengals.
Yeah, come on, Phil.
Somebody get Coach Adazio to have him record something new that says chicks being girls, and we can play that the next time you got the Go-Go's on our airwaves. Is that okay?
Well, the only reason we played this song is because Matty asked, he's like, I need an upbeat song. Yeah. Give me one real quick. And I was like, we got the beat? I don't know. It's the first thing that came to mind. It's upbeat.
I did pressure you, so.
It's got beat in it.
It's what I asked for.
Yeah.
What kind of music is being played on sports talk shows in Lincoln, Nebraska, and Omaha, and the other small towns all across the Cornhusker state?
Does Omaha play that Counting Crows song just every break coming
They
back?
have to.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's in their contract.
I don't know. I met some of the guys that do sports radio in Omaha when Arkansas was in the College World Series in June, but I didn't hear their show, so I'm
that's
not
right.
sure.
Their banner was behind you.
It was up the entire time.
We were advertising it.
But yeah, I mean, if we're playing the upbeat music and there's no reason to have anything that sounds sad or negative on the airwaves and sports radio stations in Arkansas, because it's just a glorious time to be a part of Arkansas athletics, whether it's football or anything else. But now you don't have to ever say for the time being, yeah, but football's not where it needs to be, because it is. So we're playing the Go-Go. So we're playing happy stuff. What do we, the song by Counting Crows called Long December, although it's September, Long December would be the perfect song to describe what's happened at Nebraska now. Although maybe,
Wake Me Up When September Ends by Green Day?
Is their team
How about that?
The smell of hospitals in winter?
Yes,
that doesn't seem like a very pleasant smell, does it?
I'm not exactly sure how to describe it, that smell would smell like, but it would be the smell of broken dreams and the realization that your football program will probably never be what it was previously. And there might not ever be a way to bring it back to being, what it was under Devaney or under Osborne, or heck,
what it was under
what it was under Solich. It's not even going to be what it was under Solich. So if it's about the coach, right? Mm-hmm. We keep hearing so often about Nebraska that the reason that Nebraska isn't what they used to be is that moving into the Big Ten meant that they couldn't recruit to Texas the way that they used to. Mm-hmm. So you bring in the going theory here is that Matt Campbell, the Iowa State coach, is going to be the next coach. Somebody coming out of the Big 12. There's the rumors that he's interested in the job.
I've seen Bielema's name thrown out a few times in the short list. Pete Thamel tweeted it out yesterday as part of the list. He had like 10 guys on there, including Sam Pittman, which we all know is not going to happen. But he had Bielema on there. Let's see. PJ Fleck, I think PJ Fleck could really work. He's actually done a really good job in Minnesota. And
Here's
was
what they
good
need.
in Western Michigan before that.
Here's what they need. Look, and this has nothing to do with the job search that Hunter Yurachek did to find Sam Pittman, because I think they might. I think Arkansas was turned down. Arkansas, I think, was viewed as the program that you just couldn't turn around because of the division they're playing in, because it looked like a total rebuild that would take a long time. And so you ended up with a coach who's never been a head coach before, but he obviously knows how to build a base, a strong foundation for what Arkansas football is about. And this also kind of coincides with the time where maybe in today's age you can do a total rebuild easier because of the transfer portal. And the transfer portal, I think, is a big reason why Arkansas is where they are right now. I mean, on the defensive side, you've got some of your biggest playmakers, maybe even your biggest playmakers, coming from other schools. But like Scott Frost, he had the 2 years at UCF, right?
Mm-hmm.
What sort of a base was built there to point at and say, yeah, this isn't just a 13-0 season. This is something that will last. It's like the same with Eli Drinkwitz and Mizzou. One great season at Appalachian State as a head coach, and now, third season for Eli in Columbia, and things don't really look like they're going in the proper direction for that program. And things never got off to the right start for Scott Frost in Lincoln. Mm-hmm. And I mean, what happened against Northwestern, I mean, throw out what happened against Northwestern. Who cares? They could have beaten Northwestern, been 2-0, lose at home to Georgia Southern. He'd have been fired no matter what. There's no way. And there is no base there. There is no foundation there. Matt Campbell built a foundation at Iowa State. There's no way at all that Iowa State should be, look, they're not a Big 12 champion year in, year out, but they're a good program. That's a guy that's built a program in a place that you're like, how did that happen? And that would make a lot more sense than, I mean, the whole idea of hiring Scott Frost was he took us to a national championship when he was the quarterback here. Look what he's done as a coordinator, and look what he's done as a couple years as a head coach. This is a slam dunk hire.
I mean, we all thought it was.
Everybody thought it was. It turns out.
I'll admit it. I did.
The dunk went off the back of the rim and flew to the other side of the floor.
It was, and I mean, it's just like everything else in life. Hindsight is 20/20. It felt like it was the right idea. Didn't end up working out, I think, the way that either party wanted, because Scott Frost loves Nebraska. You can hear it in his voice. You can hear that it truly does trouble him so much that, yeah, he's getting paid $15 million. But I feel like he almost feels like he would give all of that money back to create that winning culture, to have a winning program at Nebraska. So you feel bad for the whole situation, because I think that both sides just really thought it was going to work. And with hires from, certain group of 5 schools, I think Central Florida has really turned into that now with Scott Frost and Josh Heupel at Tennessee. You look at programs like Appalachian State. You look at programs like Boise State. You look at a program even like Arkansas State. I mean, how many coaches did Arkansas State go through in 10 years that went on to be Power 5 head coaches? There's just certain programs have the reputation of, okay, it's a clear-cut feeder program, and I think App State and Boise State can be in those type of categories, as well as, like I said, 5-6 coaches in a row at Arkansas State went on to be D1. Their next job was a head coach of a Power 5 team.
There's got to be there's such irony, though, also, in the idea that the first coach to lose his job last year, Clay Helton, is the coach that leads to the first firing of this year. I mean, Helton is now the head coach at Georgia Southern. They beat Nebraska. Less than 24 hours later, Scott Frost is done. I wonder if he's going to end up somewhere and, who knows, costing Jimbo Fisher his job next year. But that's a different story. $15 million buyout. I don't remember what Jimbo's is up to now, but it's a heck of a lot more than that.
That's $1 million per win. Scott Frost only won 15 games in Nebraska.
$1 million per win.
It's a heck of a deal
to think about. All right, quick break here on halftime. Drew's got our second reset of the day. Next, stay with us.
Cake and pantyhose. So kill the headlights, put in a neutral, stock car flaming with that loser and cruise control. Baby's in Reno with her vitamin D. She got a couple of couches, I sleep on her love seat. Someone says I'm insane to complain about the shotgun wedding and the stain on my shirt. You can't believe everything that you breathe. They get a parking violation and a maggot on your sleeve, yo. Cut it. So dog, I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you kill me? So dog, I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you kill me? Crazy with the cheese whiz.
Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center now offers in-stock vinyl plank flooring starting at 89 cents per square foot. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, they have all the materials needed to lay your new flooring, or you can choose their professional installation. Whatever your choice, give them a call today to get a free same-day estimate. Financing available. For the best customer service from flooring to countertops, Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center is your local flooring professional. Check them out online at flooring.norrisms.com or on the corner of Wheeler and South Y, 479-289-7111. Hablamos Espanol.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out at the web at artriallawyers.com.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low-mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Cooler temperatures are finally creeping in, and that means two of our favorite things at Breeden RV, football and fire pits. What better way to celebrate your team's big win than relaxing in your new travel trailer, fifth wheel, or motorhome? Whether you're a rookie or a seasoned vet, we have the RV in stock and available to fit all your wants and needs. Remember, every new RV comes with our exclusive maintenance for life for free. Visit us at BreedenRV.com or come by today on Alma Highway in Van Buren to see how cheap and easy it is to be a part of the Breeden RV family. Breeden RV, where adventures begin.
Metal Direct offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shops, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Direct assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by their location at 7420 Inmar Drive in Little Rock, one block off University behind Napa Auto Parts, or call them at 501-562-3112. Metal Direct, The right material for the right price.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Each day we see familiar faces who have supported us from the beginning because they see the benefits of an active lifestyle. We're also always meeting new customers who are taking their first steps towards making running or walking a part of daily life. We have the opportunity to share in their successes and help them achieve their goals. The people of Fort Smith and the River Valley are why we believe we were voted one of the best running stores in America. Visit us and see how we can help you. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, we're coming up to the third hour on halftime. You can get a text in during this segment, 877-377-6963. Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South in hour number 3 as well. And we've got some things that Sam Pittman has said. Not the audio of it, but he's had his press conference for a Monday, and we'll go through some of that stuff as we go through at the third hour. Here's Drew with our second hour reset.
That's right. Time for your second hour reset. More things you need to know to make it through the rest of your day in the world of sports. NFL kicked off on Thursday, but you had everybody except for those two, the Bills and Rams, in action yesterday. And then, of course, obviously the Broncos and Seattle, they play tonight. But some scores from around the league, and it was some interesting games. The Ravens beat the Jets 24-9. Saints got the last-second win with a 17-point fourth quarter against Falcons 27-26. Bears got the first win of the season 19-10. Steelers got the overtime thriller win 23-20. Eagles outlasted the Lions 38-35. Dolphins upset the Patriots in Week 1 20-7. The Commanders got their first win against the Jacksonville Jaguars 28-22. The Browns won. They beat the revenge game for Baker Mayfield and the Panthers 26-24. A fun fact about that, the Browns tweeted out yesterday 1-0. Phil, that's the first time that they've ever been able to tweet that out, and Twitter's been around since 2006. That's a pretty long time since you've started 1-0.
That's very Cleveland, Drew.
Yeah,
that is very Cleveland.
It is 100% a Cleveland statistic. We did have a tie yesterday, 20-20, with the Colts and the Texans. Giants got the surprise win over the Titans 21-20. Packers did not look very good in their first game as the Vikings dominated them 23-7. Chiefs got a good win, 44-21 over the Cardinals. Chargers, they got the win over the AFC West opponent in the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Buccaneers closed out the night with a 19-3 win over the Cowboys. Speaking of the Cowboys, you've probably heard Dak Prescott left the game with an injury. Here's Coach McCarthy on deck after the game.
Well, I mean, they're talking as it's going to require some surgery, but we haven't even talked to the doctor yet, so it's a significant injury.
Is it a broken thumb, or are you sticking with hand?
It's on his hand, in the thumb area. I mean, it's a significant injury. Once we get all the facts, we'll get that to you. I mean, like I said, he hasn't even seen a doctor yet.
Hey, Dak Prescott is expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks, as the injury will most likely land him on injury reserve, according to multiple sources. Other injury news from around Week 1 of the NFL include two big ones for the Steelers, as T.J. Watt suffered a torn pectoral and Najee Harris left the game with a foot injury. Patriots quarterback Mac Jones suffered a back injury in their season opener against the Dolphins, which required an X-ray. Not really sure of any updates for Mac Jones and the Patriots, but if they come in, we'll definitely give it to you in the hour number 3 reset. Here are how the other games around the natural state went this weekend that were not named. The Razorbacks, the Arkansas Red Wolves, they lost in the Horseshoe at number 3 Ohio State. Central Arkansas fell in Oxford to number 22 Ole Miss. Pine Bluff beat North American 76-3. And the reason I bring up that score, and probably not the others, because they have one of the weirdest box scores of all time. You look at they only had about 12 more first downs than their opponent. They only had 100 more rushing yards than their opponent. They also had 7 penalties for 155 yards, and I believe 9 people carried the ball. If you have a chance, go look at the box score on ESPN or on the Arkansas Pine Bluffs website and check all those kind of weird statistics from that game. Arkansas Monticello, they beat Oklahoma Baptist. Henderson State topped Northwestern Oklahoma State. Ouachita Baptist shut out Southern Nazarene 45-0. Harding won over Southeastern Oklahoma. The Wonder Boys beat East Central. South Arkansas lost on the road to Southwestern Oklahoma State. And Hendricks fell on the road in St. Louis against Washington University. And that is your hour number 2 reset.
North American University. That's giving off some real Bishop Sycamore vibes.
It's a school in Texas. I had to look it up.
Yeah, I looked it up too. NAIA, 4th year of athletics. But when I saw that, I'm like,
first year of NAIA too.
Who are they playing here? But now we know who it is they're playing.
7 penalties for 155 yards though. That's incredible.
That's got to be a lot of personal fouls.
It's got to be a record or something. Because even if it was all 15-yard penalties, you would need 10 penalties to get to 150, and you're still 5 yards short, and that's 3 extra penalties than was actually called.
155 yards on 7 penalties, so that's an average of 22 yards per penalty.
Yes.
This doesn't make much sense.
It does not. That's why I had to include it.
Yeah, okay.
Just like Texas Tech storming the field after beating Houston, it's another head scratcher. You look at it and go, things aren't lining up here right.
Well, if there's one thing to be picky about for Arkansas against Carolina, maybe the penalties would be part of it. You're looking at 3 hands to the face penalties. You're gonna have to clean that up. That's for certain, because those are the kind of things that will extend drives, and it extended a couple of those drives. So 10 penalties, 122 yards, and most of it came on the defensive side. So,
real quick, here's another weird statistic from that Pine Bluff game. Like I said, it is fascinating to look at this. North American, they beat the Golden Lions in possession time by over 13 minutes. Right. They had the ball for 13 more minutes.
So we're told that
what is going on in this game?
We're told that time of possession doesn't mean anything, and that is the case, in a lot of cases. But Arkansas held the ball for over 34 and a half minutes. They had almost 10 more minutes of possession time than South Carolina. And when you're a team that runs as much as Arkansas does, I thought it was awesome to see a 5.5-minute scoring drive. Another one that went 4. Another one that went almost 5. This team can score quickly, and they can ground and pound and take you down to the end zone in about 12 plays. We can take you into the 3rd hour of halftime next.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to ashley.air.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's ashley.air.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Hey, this is Jason Christie from Park Hill, Oklahoma, the 2022 Bassmaster Classic champion. I'm excited to tell you about the Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. It is a smaller version of the Poppin' Pad Crasher, and it's a bait I'm going to use all summer on the Arkansas River. Frog fishing is one of my favorite things to do when summer fishing, and Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. is the right size and has the right hook set up to catch them. It's available at lurenet.com and tackle stores everywhere. The Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has 2 locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300. Flu season will be here before you know it, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has the regular and 65-plus senior flu shots ready now to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 and schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high this afternoon climbing into the upper 70s to lower 80s. We're nice and clear tonight, and overnight low drops down in the mid to upper 50s. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, 85 to 89. And then Wednesday, we should see plenty of sun. Our high temperatures Wednesday in the mid to upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Tired of the ESPN broadcasters? Pause your TV and sync up the broadcast with Chuck and Quinn on hitthatline.com or your ESPN Arkansas radio station.
Radio station.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith, from the Bushlight Studios. This is ESPN 95.3. Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
Second and 4, Dubinion sets up. KJ fakes the option. Now he's going to throw back of the end zone. Got a man. Touchdown, Arkansas. Warren Thompson was wide open. They faked the option. KJ stepped up and fired it to the end zone. 23 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, and they had Warren Thompson on the inside of that set right there. They had everybody else run across the field, close the safeties down, and KJ rolled to the right. Warren Thompson just kind of slid into the back of the end zone, and KJ found it for a touchdown.
And then you might not remember this. When Warren Thompson had that holding call, he was pretty upset, came over to the sideline. I saw you had something to say to him, and then he went on and caught that touchdown. Just what was that conversation with him like?
That's between me and him.
And we'll stay between Sam Pittman and Warren Thompson. I saw that moment with the two of them, and Warren first had to go talk with his position coach and walk right. It happened right by Coach Pittman, and you could see Sam spoke with him briefly, touched him on the top of the head as if to say, don't worry about this, you're going to be just fine. And he was just fine, and he ended up making a big play in the back of the end zone for another Arkansas touchdown. And we are back here on halftime for our third and final hour. 877-377-6963 in order to be a part of the show. Connor O'Gara will give us some thoughts in about 15 minutes on the craziness of the SEC. And, I mean, where do you think Arkansas fits into the West right now? Is Arkansas the second best team in the West? Are they the best team in the West? I still right now would have a lot of trouble. Like Alabama, maybe they should have lost the game. Maybe they should have been defeated by Texas. You could point to a few calls from the officials. You could point to an offense that was stuck in neutral until the final quarter. But they got a tough road win, and a win is a win. So they might not be number one in the AP poll, but they're still Alabama, and they're still a pretty dangerous team. But from what you might have seen Saturday, maybe things are a little bit closer between Arkansas and Alabama than everybody else in the country and that covers the SEC thought. We'll certainly find out in 3 weeks. We'll find out how Arkansas matches up against Missouri State first, and then hopefully, if you'd missed it, it's a 6 o'clock game against Texas A&M. And judging on A&M offensively, I just don't know how they're going to be able to do very much. Stay away from the rush from Arkansas, the pass rush from the Razorbacks. This is a dangerous group that is getting after quarterbacks. 2 games into the season, a defense that had a heck of a time getting to the quarterback or making him uncomfortable last year already has recorded 9 sacks, and you're pressuring the quarterback at a rate that nobody saw last year either. So it is a playmaking defense. There's going to be yards against this defense. There will be points scored against this defense. Maybe you're a little worried that they gave up 30 points to South Carolina, but I think Carolina was at the position where, they got a quarterback with a good arm, and he made some throws, and they were trailing the entire game. When it got to a couple of touchdowns, that's just the way it's going to go. I'm really not that worried about Arkansas giving up 30 to South Carolina, because I think there's going to be games where you end up stopping drives on a third down sack. I think this is a takeaway oriented defense too right now, and it's one way to keep a team from scoring, take the ball away from them. So if you've got playmakers at every line defensively, you got playmakers up at the line of scrimmage. Certainly Landon Jackson looks like one. Jordan Dominic looks like one. Terry Hampton is a great run stuffer. And Drew Sanders is nothing but a playmaker. Bumper Pool is too. In the secondary, even without Jalen Catalon for the remainder of the year. Miles Slusher made plays last year. Dwight McLaughlin is making plays. And, if you maybe it's a bend but don't break defense, but I think they're an opportunistic defense and should be a lot of fun to watch. Let's see. We got Sam Pittman had his presser that started at 12 noon and was asked about Dominique Johnson. He is cleared. The decision whether he will play against Missouri State is up to him. This brings up like an idea of Rocket right now is RB1. I don't know. There's no reason to remove carries from Rocket Sanders. I mean, he had 20 carries the first game, 25 on Saturday, 24 on Saturday, but also caught 3 balls. He's a stout kid. He's big, he's fast. He's everything you want out of a number 1 running back. A.J. Green, he's awfully good. Rashad Dubinion looks awfully good. Maybe, just maybe this is a year that, and we'll have to find out if he gets onto the field on Saturday. Maybe there's something in Neek's mind where he doesn't know whether or not his body is ready or just doesn't trust the idea that this knee, which is such an important part of an athlete, you cut, you got to be able to stick that foot in the ground and push off of it, and any sort of hesitation, any kind of hesitation sometimes can lead to another injury. And if any kind of hesitation that's not instinctual, that you're thinking so much. We hear Sam Pittman. So I think one of the reasons why Rocket is a better running back now than he was last year is things seem to be much more instinctual than anything else. See the hole, hit the hole. Not a matter of wondering, is that a hole? He knows it's about to open up. Maybe this is a point where we might not see Neek very much, if at all. There is a redshirt season. I know that if he's cleared, that means the coaches say you're ready to get out there and go. But it is up to the athlete. Like the coach can tell you one thing, the trainer, the athletic trainer, the doctors can tell you another thing. You've got other people in your head, friends, parents, other family members, teammates, that might be talking to him about options surrounding his career right now. So, and I don't have any real insight as to what decision Dominique will make, but there is the idea that there is that red shirt out there. But Rocket's coming back another season. That's the other thing about this, too. So it's an interesting situation. I kind of expected that Neek would have been out there and played against South Carolina, so I was a bit surprised when he wasn't dressed. I'd feel the same way this weekend against Missouri State. But Rocket is RB1. And back-to-back games, getting over 20 carries, I wouldn't be surprised if he were to get it again. And if Neek gets out there, I mean, how many carries are you going to get? I think you want Rocket touching the ball as much as possible right now. He and KJ are a dynamic duo in that same backfield. But there's also other drives. I mean, you saw a scoring drive where Rocket wasn't on the field, and it was Green and Jefferson and Dubinion and Malik that did some of the running too. Mm-hmm. So when you're able to get down the field on a drive that's based, Drew, on running the ball, and your top running back isn't in that drive, I mean, that says something about that stable of running backs and maybe more than anything, that offensive line. And gosh, are they good.
It does say a lot about that. And when you have a running back room as talented as Arkansas does, I mean, you talk about what Dominique Johnson's going to do. Does he play this week? I'd like to think so, but I thought he was going to play last week. You don't really need him to play this week, so if there's any doubt in Dominique Johnson's mind, you don't have to have Dominique Johnson to beat Missouri State. I think Missouri State's a really good FCS team. They're obviously a top 10 FCS team in their own respected ranking system, but it shouldn't be a game where you need that extra playmaker to really get you up and over the Bears of Missouri State. So it's still, I think, maybe 50-50 whether he plays this week or not. And if he doesn't play this week, you talk about family and friends in his ear and looking at the talents of the running back room, looking at Dominion as a freshman, looking at, his classmate in Rocket Sanders, who is guaranteed to come back another year just because he is a sophomore. Does he start looking at the transfer portal as a real option? I mean, that's what Traylon Smith did. I mean, Traylon Smith came in to the 2021 season as your clear-cut number one guy, and by the end, he was clear-cut number 3, possibly even 4. I mean, A.J. Green had a really, really good freshman season. So it's a good problem to have, but a guy like Dominique Johnson, you hope he sticks around. But I think that if he decided to enter the transfer portal at any point this season or at the end of the season, I don't see how a lot of people could be mad or blame him for it, because there's so much talent and there's only one ball.
I guess I'd be surprised if he were to go into the portal during the season, because the other aspect of this too is you're an injury away from theoretically being the RB1 again. So, I mean, that's why you stay ready, and that's why you stay on the team. You understand if you're not RB1, maybe you're RB2, and your guy in front of you can't get hurt. So there still could be the option of sticking around and playing if that were to happen. And I hope I don't want Rocket to get hurt, because you'd love to have somebody that the coaches view as a potential starter in case he does get hurt. All right, I put out on my Twitter earlier, what song is being played introducing segments in sports radio across Nebraska today? We got a really good text in earlier that said Funeral for a Friend by Elton John would be perfect. So I put that up there amongst my 4 options. The other, you already played one of them, Maddie. That was Loser by Beck, Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac, or Take This Job and Shove It, which is not what Scott Frost said.
No.
It's what Trev Albert said to him. So I'm not sure if that would necessarily fit the bill.
I'm sure a little REM's getting played across Nebraska, too.
A little Everybody Hurts.
Yeah. It's the End of the World. Could also fit.
That's good. Hey, you could play Everybody Hurts on a Sunday after college football everywhere.
You could.
That's just the nature of the sport. Everybody's emotions, though, are hurting right now in Nebraska. Favored son gone. Football program in the dumpster, and now they got to play Oklahoma, which I'm sure is going to be a ton of fun for the Huskers. Great jobs available right now for fence builders or anybody that's got building experience at the Fence Man. Fence Man's a great place to work. You'll get great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. So join the top fence building team at the Fence Man. Got to apply in person in Fort Smith. And the address is 1213 North 32nd Street. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer. Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South joining us next on Halftime.
That I'm not afraid. I want you to stay.
Guys, I want to get into the podcast game. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, the Gimme the Hogs video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V 50. That's BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
With the guys, call or text into halftime at 877-377-6963.
Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South joining us, national columnist for Saturday Down South, and usually giving us his time on Mondays. We appreciate that. Connor, it was a wild Saturday in college football, and sometimes you say that just because it really was this past Saturday, and some outcomes nobody could have expected, and games that came down to the very end that maybe we didn't expect either. What would you make out of the craziness from Saturday?
Well, Phil, I mean, I think I was one of the people banging the drum that by day's end, the Sun Belt was going to be the premier conference in college football. So, you know, I think there were certain things that were really predictable. Everybody knew that Georgia Southern was going to go into Nebraska and win. Everybody knew that Marshall was going to go into Notre Dame and win. I mean, heck, everybody knew that Appalachian State was going to go into Texas A&M and win. So I wouldn't really call it that wild for the Saturday. I think we saw all of these things coming, and, you know, some people, I guess, were a little bit surprised.
All right, I guess we got to start, you know, with at least one of these games here, and we'll hit on Arkansas for certain, but, you know, A&M, I mean, really, I mean, they got outpossessed 41 and a half minutes to just over 18, don't even reach 100 yards in passing. I mean, where to start with Texas A&M? App State's a good program, don't get me wrong, but, I mean, really? It's one of the most shocking final scores I think I've ever seen.
Where do we start? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's start with the numbers here. Jimbo Fisher's making $9 million. They had 9 first downs in that football game. This is an A&M team that has 56 guys on its roster that are either 4- or 5-star recruits. App State has 1. This is a game in which App State earned $1.5 million to come into Kyle Field and win and embarrass Jimbo Fisher in year 5. If you're still of the belief that A&M is a top 25 team, I can't help you. You might just be brainwashed at this point. You might just truly have no idea. You might have drank some sort of Kool-Aid that I wasn't privy to, and you might be under some sort of spell.
Because it is called a cult. They call A&M a cult for a reason, right?
Look, everybody's got their own traditions. A&M, they do their thing. I think one of the things about college football that makes it great is that we can tell people from other countries just about these weird, random things that we do that are sacred on college football Saturday. So I won't push back too much on that. Yeah, it is a little bit out there. But I'll say this. If you're still expecting Jimbo Fisher to win a national championship at A&M, I think you need to look in the mirror and realize this is not a guy who has maximized talent in the last 6-7 years. He really has not. And this is now a time in which you should be building towards the future. You should be yearly top 10 finishes with those resources, that recruiting. And instead, with a year 5 coach who's making that kind of money, which has $86 million guaranteed left on it after this year, you're still at this place. And that is really, really troubling if you're an A&M fan.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be. It's got to be. And yet they still, you know, they'll still say, you know, he's here to win a national championship, and it's going to happen and all of that. And we can't help but just kind of chuckle at it. Kentucky beats Florida for the 3rd time in the last 5 years. So, I mean, at some point, we gotta appreciate now that Kentucky is just an overall better football program than Florida. And was the win over Utah like a smokescreen? Was it just kind of Utah might not necessarily be that good, or coming across the country? Because, you know, that looked like a pretty good performance by Florida, but boy, did they lay an egg on Saturday against the Wildcats.
Well, I think two things can be true at the same time. Was Florida disappointing in that game against Kentucky? Absolutely. Anthony Richardson, forced throws, it just was not there. How much of that was a byproduct of him getting hurt? a little bit early on a low hit that he took in that game. I don't know. I thought Kentucky did some great things to confuse him, and I thought that front seven got after it. And any belief that that was a soft football team, as Roman Harper said, that was out the window by about the middle of the third quarter of that football game. So I think Florida came out and played really well against Utah, a Utah team that I had in the college football playoff. But what was going to be difficult, no matter what, was playing back-to-backs in this Florida heat in early September against those two teams. And Kentucky, Rich Scangarello deserves a ton of credit because they had negative rushing yards in the first quarter of that game. But he said, you know what? I'm going to stick with the ground game. And I'm going to trust that Florida, with the back-to-back that they have after playing 60 minutes against Utah, I'm going to trust that they're not going to be able to slow us down in the fourth quarter of the game. And then sure enough, that's exactly what happened. And they looked gassed. And Kentucky took over that game, and Florida didn't have anything left in the tank. And so everybody that was calling Anthony Richardson, Cam Newton, first of all, take a breath, take a lap, do whatever you need to do to get rid of that take, because that shouldn't be in your mouth. But if that was the takeaway from week one, the takeaway from week two should be Anthony Richardson is human. He is a guy that just started in his third career game, and he is working through some flaws right now, and Billy Napier's job is to figure out what those flaws are.
All right, so what do you make of Alabama and Texas? Is Alabama gettable? You know, I mean, I saw where they were the heaviest favorite to win a national championship in like 15 or 20 years. But after what happened against Texas, and they got to win, sure, so they're still undefeated. But, you know, offensive line might have looked a little suspect. What do you make of Alabama, and are they gettable now?
It felt very much like 2021, and everybody laughed at Nick Saban for going on with Cole Kubelik and Greg McElroy and saying that 2021 was a rebuilding year. What those people ignored was that Alabama was in a one-score game in SEC play 6 of 8 times. This felt very much like 2021. Alabama does not have, with this group, that ability to put their foot on the gas and just roll. That's because they don't have that ground game that they can really lean on in those spots. They have some capable backs. Do they have the interior offensive line? I don't think so. And when they commit 15 penalties in the first 3 quarters of a game, there's only so much that you can do. And by the way, they should have had more penalties because they got away with some face mask penalties, and they got away with some DPI in that game. But instead, you're having to trust Bryce Young to bail you out again. And fortunately for Alabama, there's no better player in college football to bail you out of a situation than Bryce Young. He has ice water in his veins. He made some unbelievable plays in those 2 scoring drives to be able to get Alabama out of Austin with a win. And I guess after a weekend like that, wherein the Sun Belt was the premier conference in college football, Alabama fans should just be grateful that they got out of Texas with a victory, because that easily could have gone the other way with a myriad of things that could have happened, mainly if Quinn Ewers had been able to stay on the field for all 4 quarters.
All right, now give me your thoughts on Arkansas. South Carolina, I mean, everybody knows Arkansas is going to try to run. Cincinnati couldn't stop them. Neither could South Carolina. I mean, Rocket Sanders is, I think, 4th in the country in rushing right now. The offensive line is opening a ton of holes. You got KJ running too. And this all without Dominique Johnson even dressing for the first 2 games. And a ton of playmakers on defense, of course, Drew Sanders leading that charge.
When I talked about Arkansas in the preseason, I said the reason I think they're the number 2 team in the SEC West and why I think they're the number 3 team in the SEC coming into this year is because I know who they are. And more importantly, Arkansas knows who Arkansas is. And when you get in these moments, we forget that this final score kind of skewed some things, but that's a 1-score game kind of late into the fourth quarter. But what does Arkansas trust? What do they trust against Cincinnati? They trust that ground game to be able to pick up those key first downs. They're not necessarily going to get outside of the system. You don't have to worry about KJ Jefferson going rogue and trying to make these heroic plays when he knows that he has a ground game he can trust, he has an offensive line he can trust, and when Kendall Briles is scheming like the way that he did on that touchdown to Xavier Thompson, wherein KJ kind of fakes the run and then you got that backside post. I mean, like that route is that's the exact reason why you have Kendall Briles in that spot. I continue to be impressed with Arkansas. I really do, and I think that the addition of Drew Sanders has been just monumental for them so far early in this year. I question what their upside is if Jalen Catalon's not going to be healthy, and that's kind of a TBD thing moving forward with the style that he plays, even if he does come back. But I do think that Arkansas has set itself up well to be a contender in the SEC West. Whether that means getting to Atlanta or not, I mean, TBD on that. But right now, you got to be feeling good with the way that this team has come out in the first 2 games.
And the way that Drew Sanders played against South Carolina, had an absolutely phenomenal game. And Connor, it brings up the question, not only is Drew Sanders, I think, the best transfer that the Hogs got, but is he the best transfer in the SEC?
It's a little early. It's a little early to say that. I think he's going to be in that discussion, though. I really do, and we'll see. I mean, I'm still optimistic that Tyler Harrell, the Louisville transfer, who has not been able to be on the field for Alabama these first 2 games, and that's kind of one of the issues that Alabama's still working through. They can't stretch the field. Post-Jamison Williams era, they're really struggling with that. I still think he's going to be in that discussion. I think Tavion Robinson, the Kentucky receiver, is going to be in that discussion as well. There are a lot of other guys you could point to in the SEC. Who knows? Maybe Jackson Dart ends up being that if he's able to win the starting job at Ole Miss, which is still TBD. But Drew Sanders is definitely a guy that you're looking at saying, wow, that's a difference maker. Mm-hmm. That is exactly what Arkansas has needed. If he continues to get better in coverage, and I thought he was great in coverage in a game against South Carolina, then you are looking at a player who has first-team All-SEC upside. He absolutely does. And South Carolina really saw what he was capable of in that football game. Arkansas fans have got to be loving the addition that he's been able to provide so far through these first 2 games.
Mm-hmm. All right, Connor, let's talk about Scott Frost, the big news from the weekend, the things that happened off the field. And one of the best, I can't remember who tweeted this out, but I saw it when it comes up with all these different lists, different people that they think that could replace Scott Frost at Nebraska. Somebody had the thought of, instead of Nebraska starting to think of who's good enough for us when it comes to these candidates, are we good enough for them? I mean, that's the situation Nebraska has found themselves in when just by name you think, yeah, you're going to get the 1% of coaches, but in reality, you're not. So what level of coach and who do you think could be a good fit for Nebraska?
I think you have to make some people say no. And what I mean by that is it's okay to make these calls, and that's why you get out ahead of this if you're Trev Alberts, the AD. But you have to be willing to make those calls. You can't necessarily be afraid of rejection. Like when Hunter Yurachek goes after a hire, he's not afraid of rejection. Scott Woodward, he wasn't afraid that he got publicly rejected for jobs that he was offering at LSU. And I shouldn't say offering, but people that were being discussed for that job before Brian Kelly ultimately took it. And I think Matt Campbell makes a lot of sense. I think I have to make Mark Stoops say no. I think you have to kind of lean heavily on the whole basketball school thing that John Calipari threw out there and kind of test and see where he's at and throw $10 million at him per year because, in my opinion, he's one of the 10 to 15 best coaches in the sport and he'd be worth it. But those are the 2 guys that make a lot of sense. Dave Aranda, make him say no. I know there are a lot of people who are anti-Bill O'Brien, but Bill O'Brien is more respected within these circles than people kind of realize on the outside. He'd be a really interesting candidate, but Nebraska is not going to get to the places at the mid-90s. It should aspire to be Iowa or Wisconsin. 8-9 wins, be relevant in some way, and have your place in college football. The sport has changed. Nebraska has too. They haven't beat a top 5 team in 20 years. I mean, let's be realistic about what this team has moving forward. I think that's kind of where the list would go, and then, you kind of work your way down the list of candidates after you make those guys say no.
Yeah, interesting. But it's exactly what happened at Arkansas. You're right about that. And so eventually you find the coach that wants you kind of more than you want him or more than, I guess, like the fans would expect you to want him. A couple of games to ask about this next weekend. SEC teams, Mississippi State LSU is probably the best SEC game of the weekend. And Miami at A&M. Here it was, we thought like App State might be a tune-up for A&M to play Miami. Nope. It was a big fat hors d'oeuvre that they couldn't even swallow, and now they get the Hurricanes. Yeah, and you get Kevin Steele, who has a reputation defensively in this conference with shutting down some pretty good offenses. And that's terrifying because they don't have an offensive identity to speak of at all. And that's really troubling for A&M in that matchup where you'd think, okay, well, you should be in a favorable spot. It's a year 1 head coach. And then you kind of see what they've done these first 2 games and you realize that is by no stretch of the imagination a gimme. Yeah, the Mississippi State LSU game is interesting because I got mocked in the offseason for saying that Mississippi State was going to go into Death Valley and beat Brian Kelly in year 1. And if you watch Mississippi State these first 2 games, you're saying to yourself, that's a good football team right there. They fly around defensively. Zach Arnett's defense is legit. I mean, they are really, really improving there. And they're going from being just one of those teams that could defend the run well last year. They're the 3rd best run defense in the SEC last year to now being a complete defense.
17 guys on that 2 deep that are in year 3 of the Zach Arnett defense. I mean, they're legit. I think they're going to go into LSU and win that game, and I think that Jaden Daniels is going to have a really difficult time getting first down, sustaining scoring drives, and that's going to be a tough pill for LSU fans to have to swallow because I think Mississippi State's a better football team right now.
All right, Connor, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for your time as always, and looking forward to talking about it again next week.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, guys.
Connor O'Gara, national columnist, Saturday Down South, also Saturday Tradition, which covers the Big Ten, if you care about that. I know you care more about the SEC, so it's Saturday Down South. You might care about a delicious drink that can get you a buzz with no booze. It's called Lark, infused with just the right balance of hemp-derived THC and CBD. No alcohol in Lark, so no calories either, no carbs, no sugar, and it tastes great. Lark features flavors like strawberry guava, mango, grapefruit, and berry. You can find Lark at your local adult beverage store or just have it shipped to your doorstep by going to larkhemp.com. You got to be 21 years of age or older to consume Lark. Halftime is 877-377-6963 for calls and texts, and we will be right back.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Road Chevrolet Van Buren is hosting their second annual car show, Saturday, September 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. right out front on the lot. Hot rods, food truck, giveaways, face painting, and vehicles of all makes and models. This event will be fun for the whole family. Have a cool car or know of someone who does? Call Savannah Neal at 479-474-4000. Road Chevrolet Van Buren, exit 2A off I-540. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Brandon Zimmerman in Barling or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith about Shelter's home insurance.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Each day we see familiar faces who have supported us from the beginning because they see the benefits of an active lifestyle. We're also always meeting new customers who are taking their first steps towards making running or walking a part of daily life. We have the opportunity to share in their successes and help them achieve their goals. The people of Fort Smith and the River Valley are why we believe we were voted one of the best running stores in America. Visit us and see how we can help you. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Find your dream boat at Auto Finders and Adventure Oklahoma in Roland. With their G3 boats and Suncatcher pontoons, you will find quality you can trust, including G3 boats by Yamaha's industry-leading limited lifetime plus 5-year warranty from bow to stern. Performance you can see, quality you can trust, and the satisfaction you feel with G3 boats and Suncatcher pontoons. Don't miss Auto Finders and Adventure Oklahoma's 2022 model clearance event through September 21st and view their complete inventory online at autofindersok.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Ball remains on the left hash. Landers the receiver that way. They're going to give it right side. Lots of open field into the end zone. Rocket Sanders, touchdown Arkansas. Sanders from 11 yards out. 2 scores for Rocket, and the Hogs go 75 yards.
Yeah, that's just the outside zone right there. South Carolina's been so worried about Arkansas running the football between the tackles. They go outside zone right there. They wash it down on the right side of the defensive line, and Rocket just rolls into the end zone for a touchdown.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Arkansas's win over South Carolina was nice and formulaic. The Razorbacks never trailed. Started pulling away in the second, really started pulling away in the first half. And got a win that 44-30, pretty formulaic. Everything was nice and straightforward, nothing that was all that crazy. My teams went 2-0 over the weekend. Yesterday, the Steelers did not have a formulaic win. That was one of the weirdest, craziest games I've ever seen in my life. And you could just erase the first 59.5 minutes of the game. And so I wanted to play some of the calls from CBS, from the Bengals and the Steelers yesterday, which starts with the last play of regulation to Jamar Chase.
I think the ball's going to Jamar Chase. 4 seconds left. Burrow dials it up. Touchdown! Jamar Chase!
There was some great catch there by Chase, but of course, that only tied the game, and then this happens.
Trying to complete the route. McPherson, it's blocked! What a turn of events! Minka Fitzpatrick! A slow snap, and the whole operation took too long.
Yeah, and that wasn't even the beginning of the craziness, really, because Cincinnati should have won on this in overtime.
Wilcox, snapper, Huber, holder, from 29 yards away. Oh, he missed it badly.
Yeah, missed it terribly. That snap was high, and what you can see, he kicked the laces. It was all laces,
Laces
Dan.
out, Dan.
It was all laces, Dan. And then even Chris Bosworth. This might be the loudest doink of the NFL season.
From 55 yards away, Boswell. No good.
Can we play that again? Did you get a load of that doink?
Boswell. No good.
It's incredible. You could listen to that over and over and over again, and finally then Boswell ends it 53 yards out.
Boswell trying to get it done. Snap, placement, kick on the way. Boswell, that's a winner! Unforgettable season opener. And the Steelers outlast the Bengals in overtime.
5 turnovers by Joe Burrow. And they almost won the game with 5 turnovers, and they got no takeaways. That would have been a mind-blowing way to win a game, where you lose the turnover battle 5-0 and end up winning. And they should have won. But I guess you're supposed to keep a real backup long snapper on the team. Keep in mind, to bring this closer locally here to Arkansas, the Razorbacks give a scholarship to the long snapper, Eli Stein, who has made a special teams tackle or two already. I don't know a lot of teams that put that kind of money in college football in a long snapper, but Sam Pittman and Scott Fountain are those two coaches. Now, I don't know who the second string guy would be, but a bicep injury was the reason that Cincinnati had to go to their second stringer, a tight end that had done some long snapping, but it really did look like it had been a while since he did. And that was I felt really exhausted by the end of watching that game. I'm exhausted by the end of every Razorback broadcast. Those are long days. So then, like, watching the NFL the next day should be a nice, relaxing, enjoyable experience. And I'm not the sort of Steeler fan that I used to be when I was younger. And, like, however the Steelers performed on a Sunday decided my mood for the remainder of the week. I've been able to kind of put that beside me a little bit. But at the end of that one yesterday, like, I was done. I was ready for a nap, for crying out loud. Meanwhile, the kids are over here being like, all right, where are we going? What are we doing? It's almost dinner time. Let's have fun. Are you kidding me? I just went through the ups and downs of an entire season in overtime alone. It's absolutely nutty. And I guess the NFL is back, and this is the way it's going to be.
It was a fun first day, though. I think from, sun up to sundown, a lot of good football was played. A lot of frustrating football was played, though, as well, including that Steelers and Cincinnati game. And you're right, it was a full lot of emotion because, Phil, as you're well aware, not only do I need my teams to win, I need your team to lose. Right. I hate the Steelers. I was 100% rooting for the Bengals yesterday. 100%. Not just because I had Jamar Chase and Kevin McPherson on my fantasy team, which I do. But it almost ruined the Ravens game for me because of how lucky y'all just seemed to get yesterday. Now, the Ravens played a decent game against a bad team, won 24-9. So I don't feel that great about it, but it would have made it a lot better knowing that you would have been sad. And I'm sorry, that's just how it is. You and everyone in Pittsburgh would have been sad yesterday. Y'all were too happy.
Can I at least have my joy that the Pirates lost the series to the Cardinals and Pujols hit 2 more home runs? Can I have some joy in this?
You can.
Pirates are only 3 games out of dead last place, and you know it's going to happen. You just know it's going to happen. I like this text here from Zach and Paragould. Drew Sanders reminds him a lot of T.J. Watt. It's interesting. It's difficult to, compare college guys to the NFL, but it is sort of like that position. Watt mainly is, just a pass rusher. I mean, he gets in on the run defense sometimes. He's not necessarily somebody that I see dropping back in coverage very often. Maybe so. I mean, Sanders is incredibly fast, incredibly quick. TJ Watt is too. I'd have to get a little bit more eyes on Sanders before I'm ready to put that kind of comparison on him, because Watt is a 2-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year. And Sanders, he's had issues staying healthy previously, and he's got to stay healthy, I think, for this Arkansas team to remain where they are. Because he really, that guy's an incredible difference maker.
I kind of like the comparison that Rob makes on our text line. He says he thinks that Drew Sanders reminds him a lot of Micah Parsons. I see them play. They play kind of a similar, real flying around one sideline of the other type of football.
Well, he looks like a guy who eventually be playing on Sundays, don't you think?
100%.
I think so. I think we also got to take a break, but first, reminding you about the Muddy Water Mob that designed the Booyah Mobster. Booyah Bait Company makes it in Fort Smith. It's the hottest swimming jig on the river. It's the Booyah Mobster. It's been winning tournaments all across Arkansas and Oklahoma all summer long. So when you fish submerged or matted grass, make sure you've got the Booyah Mobster to reel them in, and you'll find it at learnthat.com and tackle stores all across the listening area. The Booyah Mobster. Quick break. We're going to wrap things up on halftime after this.
Razorback football is back, and you can call the Hogs with Coach Sam Pittman and the Razorbacks at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas for the 2022 Southwest Classic. Make plans now to catch the next installment of this historic rivalry between the Hogs and the Texas A&M Aggies inside the house at former Razorback Jerry Jones built Saturday, September 24th. Tickets to the Southwest Classic are on sale now by calling 1-800-982-HOGS or visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where it's finally time for our end of summer clearance. We've been busy all summer helping more people than ever get the nicer, newer cars they need, and now it's time to flip our inventory. That's right, they all must go. Over 100 Rath road-ready cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to save you money now with discounts up to $4,481 below retail. Plus, our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists are putting every deal together with extra for trades and fast, easy financing through the area's best local credit unions and the nation's best banks and lenders. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a premium pre-owned vehicle, now is the time, and Rath Auto Resources is the place. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. But why wait? Get the nicer, newer car you've been wanting today and save up to $4,481 during the end of summer clearance at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Hart's.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partners. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out on the web at artriallawyers.com.
Hey, where's the rest of the beer?
I'm probably out unless you clowns brought some.
Well, I've already had 3. Who's going to get more?
Order it from your phone.
From where?
Sody's delivers.
You mean where my girlfriend gets her wine and those cheese plates?
And if you don't want to drive, that's where you can order it. My free beer is gone.
Sody's now delivers inside Fort Smith city limits. Just order from mysodys.com or download the Sody's app and order from your phone. Sody's Wine and Spirits. Experience different.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
When you need to customize your ride, whether for work or play, check out River Valley Truck Outfitters. Full line of LED lights for your headlights to work lights, B&W hitches, toolboxes, ladder racks for all your work needs or play, grill guards to full front bumper replacements, full line of WeatherTech and Husky floor mats. Let River Valley Truck Outfitters get your window tinting on. Best prices and quality in the Fort Smith area. River Valley Truck Outfitters can get your ride ready on Highway South 71 on top of Rye Hill. 648-8855. That's 648-8855.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Hey, tired of the ESPN broadcasters? Pause your TV and sync up the broadcast with Chuck and Quinn on hitthatline.com or your ESPN Arkansas radio station.
Snoop Dogg. You know I'm mobbing with the D.R.E.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
It's been a fun Monday afternoon here on Halftime. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast coming out during the next hour. Ruskin and Zach take you from 2 until 7. Tomorrow's another busy day on Halftime. Chuck Barrett joins us hour 1. Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation in hour 2. And Nate Olson for high school football in hour 3. And as we are in our third hour right now, here's Drew with our final reset.
All right, what are we watching tonight? I think the majority of us are going to be watching Monday Night Football to finish out the first week of the season in the NFL. Tonight, the Seattle Seahawks, they host their former quarterback, Russell Wilson, and the Denver Broncos. Here's Russell Wilson last week talking about his love for Seattle.
Seattle will always mean the world to me. You know, it'll always forever be home for me. It'll always be a special place in my heart, obviously. And so, you know, and like I said, I have some amazing teammates there. And the thing I think about, everybody talks about the games and all that stuff. And the thing that really mattered to me most was just, you know, bringing my daughter back home to Seattle, bringing Little Future, bringing Win when he was first born, and just those moments, those memories. You know, the Seattle children's kids that you meet. Our kids are at our school, Why Not You Academy. That's what life's about. And people are going to love you. They're going to hate you sometimes, whatever it may be. But I know that for me, I'll forever have love in my heart for Seattle.
Mm-hmm. Game time kickoff is scheduled for 7:15 on ABC and ESPN. And also, you have the Manning cast back tonight on ESPN2 with Peyton and Eli. If you're not going to be watching football, you're probably going to be watching some baseball. There's one game going on currently right now. The Texas Rangers trail the Miami Marlins in Miami 2-0. That game is in the top of the 6th. Angels are in Cleveland to take on the Guardians. Houston are in Detroit against the Tigers. Phil, your Pirates, they are hoping to lose tonight in Cincinnati against the Reds. Blue Jays host the Rays. Cubs and Mets in Queens. And then there'll be a doubleheader of the Texas Rangers game. That's why it's started a little early today. Dodgers and D-backs on the West Coast, and closing it out. Last game to start tonight will be the Atlanta Braves in the Bay Area against the San Francisco Giants. That's what we're watching tonight. And that is your final reset of this Monday afternoon.
So, Drew, did you see where yesterday the Dodgers had an 11-2 win over the Padres? And they thought they'd clinched a postseason berth. They didn't do like the big, dumping champagne on everybody's head and everything, but they did do a post-game sparkling wine toast led by Dave Roberts. And players and staff were given the postseason logo that we know so well. Whenever they clinch, they'll get that hat. Well, Major League Baseball announced today an internal error in determining the Dodgers' postseason clinching scenarios. They haven't clinched yet because of
they
whatever
messed up the magic number?
Yeah, whatever tiebreaker. It's not the magic number. It was like tiebreaker scenarios involving the Cardinals and the Brewers and the Padres and the Dodgers. So they need one more win. They need one more win. They already did their celebration. Wouldn't it have just been amazing? At least they didn't do the popping bottles thing with everybody wearing goggles inside the clubhouse. But could you imagine that? Hey, we're in the playoffs. Let's party. And then 24 hours later, what?
Got to win one more?
You mean we're not?
Okay.
What, I'm hungover. What am I supposed to do now? That's hilarious.
That is pretty funny. And I haven't been keeping up with baseball very much this weekend, one, because of football, and two, Phil, I know you're an anti-fan, but I'm not. Orioles have lost 6 of the last 8. They're out of it. It's done, so put a fork in them. They're done.
Well, I mean, at least you still have a winning record.
You're right.
That's
something.
You haven't clinched that yet.
I haven't clinched that either. Yeah. You keep going on the 6 out of 8 losing streak. It's not going to be pretty. Only 6 games above 500 right now are my beloved Orioles.
Yeah, well, at least they're not a million games under like the Pirates. Broncos Seahawks tonight. I'm interested in watching this game, no doubt. See how long I can get the kids to watch this football game with me tonight. Maybe I'll just go break their iPads right now. They won't have anything else to watch. What can I do? What can I do? Isn't it great when kids ask you, what can I do? I don't have anything to do.
Oh,
watch the football game. Or you can do what my mom always told me. Knock your head against the wall. Just wear a helmet while you're doing it. All right, that's the end of halftime today. It's been a lot of fun. And we're with you tomorrow for another award-winning edition. For Maddie and for Drew, I'm Phil. And have a great rest of your Monday. Get up, get out, and get better.